Oh, but even then, you can't watch the River games on TIC Sports or
They
TYC
don't.
Sports. I
They
mean,
don't. They don't have them. They usually
yeah, I
do.
don't think River. River? I don't think River I think the River has like some own fucking rights or some shit. I think they can if they're
They're
visiting.
the Chivas de
But
Guadalajara de Argentina. I get it. Chivas.
yeah, basically some shit
Chivas
like that.
TV.
Yeah,
Look, it really got hurt.
yeah.
Really got hurt. I can't hear you though, Papa. I can't hear you, Rudy.
I
You're
can't
like
hear Rudy
mute.
either.
Because I'm muted. But we're live.
Uh,
We're live.
Damn, you let me say that shit out loud. All the River fans are gonna come for me, dog.
bro, you're a hater.
All
No,
four of them. All four of us. All four of us in come after you. So you know what it is. Everybody early, hit them likes. Yep. And as you know, like for the next 15 minutes, everything but G talk. So we talk about anything but the cheese. How y'all doing?
We'll go back to me, bro. I feel bad for you right now.
Look, Tecito, to trying to fucking make it to the pod. So we'll figure that out today.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna do a lot of setting up, and y'all gotta run with that shit because I can't. You know.
I like the commitment though. Nah, you gotta say something.
I'll say something, but I'll say something very light. What up, Eddie? Sheesh. I still got it, though. See,
so fucking stupid.
for just seeing the stadium, it shows.
That's just
Oh
funny,
man.
when I was in Arizona.
I'll look into that though, Masa, 'cause I remember that was the case.
Yeah, you
that
can watch it.
with River games, you couldn't watch them on TYC Sports because of that.
I don't know. I seen like 3 River games on TYC. Maybe they were all away. I never know.
They're probably away. Yeah, because I know for sure. Everything else is fine, like Boca, San Lorenzo. You know, obviously Racing, Independiente, those guys all play there. But River, I think only they're visiting. I'll ask my I know my stepdad watches it all on Fanatis. It's like an app, and they have all that shit there for sure.
I haven't watched a River game in fucking God knows how long though. I don't remember last time I watched a River game.
Watch them Cachinas.
I watch anything.
Bro, they play good. Their games are
fun. I haven't watched any kind of.
I'd rather win, Doug. Miss me with that shit.
Here we go. That's the boring.
I'm on that boat too. But you know,
boring,
I'm just saying, as a neutral, if you're trying to watch a game, they're usually entertaining.
Exactly. You know what? The Argentinian league is pretty entertaining. I'm not gonna lie.
Overall, yeah.
I hear you, Kalisa. I hear you. I've been contemplating the whole day how I'm gonna do a pod because same thing. So I hear you. Yeah,
hey, Glenn, I think you might be right, Doug. Right now, when we were saying sheesh, the first time that Glenn ever said he's gonna take over the Ola, I was like, man, this fool doesn't know soccer. He just started liking the Galaxy. Now, every time I could hear that shit when they pass the ball and it goes sheesh, sheesh.
It's crazy.
Sick.
And so the day after preseason in Tucson, I went to Kevin and since Rigo moved out to Arizona, he moved to Arizona too. He bought a pad, so they play on the same team. So it was like playoffs, and Rigo chipped the keeper for the third goal, and then you just hear me say sheesh. And then, like the other nephew started the sheesh, and then like the whole team on the bench sheesh. That shit was funny.
That's hilarious.
That shit reminds me of the Borracho chat, bro.
Yeah. Bro, so dumb. I love it. Love everything about it, man. What's up? Y'all ready for some F1 this weekend?
Yes,
They're going
Absolutely. I'm trying to get Angel into it, but he says Andy McQueen or the bus.
Bro, you've never tried to get me one. You just say,
"Bro, I told you watch."
And I say, "Oh, Lightning McQueen." Oh, for sure, and that's it. Like you don't
watch. I told you watch it.
Oh, there's this race. Yeah. You don't say anything about it. You say, "Oh, F1." That's why I say. You say, "Oh, F1." That's literally what you say. Oh, F1. And I say, "Oh, Lightning McQueen."
I think if you watch the Netflix show, then if you like it, then you'll like F1. I think if you go straight,
you should.
It's called F1.
Drive to Survive.
Drive to Survive. It's really good.
George's already pitching a little bit better. George.
If you watch a race straight up, you'll be like, "Oh, that's dope." Oh, okay. Oh, they crashed. Like you'll be like, oh, "Okay, cool, I get it." The reason why I think all of us got into it is because we all watched the F1 Drive to Survive, and we're like, "Oh shit!" You see the scandalos, you see all the people arguing, the people fighting, why they hate each other, people leaving from team to team. Yeah, Netflix.
All right.
Fire. That's just dope.
I'll check it out.
It's only 20 drivers, so like the Netflix like really showcase the personas. So you start liking like, oh, I like Danny because you know he's a clown or whatever, right? So like that's why it's so dope. You start liking like the personas and they find some kind of attachment to them.
But I've been liking Lewis Hamilton since he's been a young lad, so that's my boy, dog.
That's funny as shit. That is funny as shit. What's up with the show, boys? What's up with the show? I'm gonna be the show on Xbox.
I don't want to
I
talk
have
right
it.
now, dog.
I downloaded it. I still haven't opened. I haven't touched it.
You haven't opened it, huh? That game is really dope, man. I'm so happy it's on the Xbox. I'm so happy it's on the Xbox.
I
I just
play
started
this shit all
playing
the time.
on
No,
PS.
When I had the PS4, I used to play it. That shit was such a good game.
Yeah,
Probably still is.
Story
that
time.
is.
Story time. So last person that I've ever heard say they used to play that all the time and who wants to work is my friend Jeremy Cavello. And apparently this fool was waiting for it to go down, waiting for it to come out because he was about to work all of us. We played a home run derby.
I'll say this though, right? Jeremy plays fucking all-star settings from the jump though, right?
We
Like
all
so
did
he
it, though.
did we? We were all there.
Yeah, we were all on it. We were all on the same setting. Damn, hell yeah.
That's just fun.
It's defending dog, sick ass fool.
Hey, Jeremy's good at the game. He is. I won't lie. Like he's always been good at the game. Maybe not this one right just yet, but he's been good at it. So I won't
But-
hate on him when it comes to
But
that.
back to that. So the last time I heard someone say that was my shit back in the day was Jeremy dog, and then I seen him get tossed.
And he's taking else, yeah.
Yeah, that was bad.
I
Dog.
would say I used to play a lot. I'm never gonna say I'm good at a baseball game because
That shit's
I'm
fun.
not.
Though. That shit's mad
It is
fun.
super fun. Super fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And that shit looks really good too, man. Like
It looks so good.
at 4K 60, like it looks super good.
The only thing that's bad about it is the intro. It's a fucking Padres.
Yeah, it is.
All
Yeah.
Padres. All Padres. That shit's disgusting.
I switched
I
my
think
icon
my-
real
I
quick.
think my neighbors hate me, bro,
Why?
because I was celebrating Chicharito's third goal, and I
Mhm.
guess the Dodgers Padres game was at the same
stupid
time.
dog.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
My bad, but they were having like a watch party, like a Dodger watch party next door, and I'm over here screaming. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but it wasn't.
Nah.
Like I don't know if it was simultaneous, like that the Padres were up
But-
or whatever.
Mm,
I don't know, but I mean they gave me some dirty looks after, dog. Whatever.
Dodger shit show didn't happen until the end of the night. That was
Yeah,
long.
too.
Oh, okay. So we were straight then. Nah,
Yeah,
never
we
mind.
straight.
They
They
probably
just
just don't like
dog.
me.
They just
Yeah,
don't like you.
That's cool. I don't like the motherfuckers either, dog.
Yeah.
What up, Big Will? What up, Big Will?
What up, boys?
See,
What up,
so
Steve?
says George, the people's champ is back. I don't know how much
mean,
that you know.
I've been trying to
I'm
say.
not sure that
I
it's
said, "Rock,
not.
finally, somebody sees it, dog. Finally, someone sees. You know, me and
Damn,
the
dog, that's we got Stone Cold and The Rock in the bottom.
Oh man, we'll get it going in about 7 minutes. We'll start the show in about 7 minutes. Just getting
we
people to
could
come
put on a
over.
pretty good show too, like The Rock
Boxing?
and Snow Cold.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Damn, I could sell a stunner. Yeah, hell yeah.
You can sell a stunner.
The Rock was one of the best people to ever sell a stunner.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hell
Motherfucker
yeah.
would do like 3 backflips, dog.
Hell yeah.
That fool stand up and fall again, dog. Like, what, like you know what I mean? Like, that's just
Yeah,
amazing.
true.
He would get stunnered, stand up, and go like this, and then Stoko would look at him again.
Glenn says, well, sheesh, and your band Romo at random.
Even the chat got in on that shit.
Yeah,
Dog, in the second half last game, they were doing the sheesh, right? And I tried to get in it, dog, and there was nothing there. I was just like, like the whole movement, nothing came out. I was like,
Fucking dust came out, huh?
I just so bad. I was like, all right, I'll stop.
Oh, Jesus.
I'll talk about it, boys, but damn, I was not 90 minute ready at all, dog. By no means. I was hurting. I was hurting early. That's just tough. It's been a long ass time, though.
Hell yeah, dog.
How's my
Fuck.
audio coming from you guys then? Is it coming out?
It's horrible.
too fine?
Sounds sexy.
Yeah.
Sound
It's
like a
horrible,
man.
dog.
Perfect.
It sounds like you're talking. It sounds like you're talking by a payphone.
You sound like you sang with your chest.
Message.
Message.
Emmanuel.
Jonathan for P.
Just
What
'cause
y'all
it's
think of the
birthday, dog.
Quesaldania? Yeah, we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about all that. We'll talk about Jonathan P. We'll talk about all that. We'll talk about all that today. I'm excited, man. Back to back episodes where I have shit. I'm excited. I'm also not excited because I can't really say it all. But I got a lot to say. I'll type it to you. I'll type it to you, George, and you just say it for me,
I
right?
got you, Doug. I got you.
Yo,
Appreciate
why are you still
that.
talking, Rudy? I don't understand why you're still talking, bro.
Because
You're
I
on
don't
your
know how to
phone.
shut
I
up.
told you. Yeah, I told like
You,
take a break.
you
Yeah,
already know
15
that.
minutes. Yeah, 15
You already,
minutes.
you already know that. I don't know how to shut
Chill,
up.
relax. Well, we'll just bullshit and you're he's like, cállate el hocico, cállate mierda.
I don't know how to shut up. You already know this. Like, why is this a surprise? I don't know how to shut up. That's my biggest problem. I thought I was ronco. Nah, I'm not ronco, I'm bronco. Cami Guadalupe is fucked up. You know what I mean? Con zapatos de tacón. I got you guys on the new trip. Oh, man. Hey, everybody had to go work today. Hey, your boy's a shot. What excuse did you use? What was the excuse? You just tell everybody I went to the Galaxy game. Was it that bad? Was it that bad? All right. I'm going to try, but I'm leaving shit and I'm not going to talk anymore. I don't think my voice is coming through very well.
Rudy, what you do this weekend?
Me? My throat was busy.
Hell.
My throat was busy, baby.
Animal, bestia.
I said, yeah,
That's funny.
yeah.
Did George, Masa, did you guys also go to the game or did you guys watch on TV?
On
I
TV.
watched on TV.
Okay.
I think that's
Rudy,
obvious.
Makes sense why Rudy's the only
Oh, yeah,
guy
yeah.
like that, huh?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. I don't know how to
Rudy, you
do
didn't
it,
take
but
any
I'm gonna.
rest
Yesterday when you
right?
got back.
What up?
What's that?
Huh?
That
What we
was
talking
broken.
about?
All of a sudden.
Huh?
Raise your hand, please.
Yeah, for real.
Bottom row. Raise your hand.
Fucking Zoom classes, dog.
Oh fuck. Mm.
Thank
I'm
you,
about to go
Roman.
round. I'm about to go round 2 on this fucking tea.
I'm running back. I need another cafecito. I'm not gonna lie, but I ain't got time. It's a Ford Ranger, dog. Tremor.
Es una mamelona.
Nah, tampoco.
Es una mamelona. Let's go. That's sick ass food. Sick ass.
Let me say cafecito. I want some
Saca
cafecito
bump
too.
Saca bump chicharrito corridos.
Ay, el chicharito. El chicharito. El chicharito.
Es hora de stream. Cáiganle aquí, por favor. Vamos a darle un ratito. Para que me vean.
Glenn cold-blooded for that. You seen that shit? You seen the chat?
Hell yeah, stick ass fool.
Do you do?
Hell yeah.
I'm out of the loop. I'm out of the loop.
He's a moderator, dog. He said,
Oh,
we're almost talking to you.
Oh
man,
shit.
Second is fucked up. Poor Ro.
Yeah.
bro.
Cold-blooded as fuck.
You guys ever seen that movie Valentine's Day? Keep it up. Keep it up.
No, I never seen Valentine's Day.
That shit's old.
Sorry.
It was like a thriller, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a murder. Yeah,
Yep.
like they fucked with the kid in high school, and yeah, he went back revenge on everyone, murdered the fuck out of everybody.
Jesus.
Really, that's an old movie. Like I'd say, what, early 2000s, George?
Yeah.
90s maybe.
I was busy doing stupid shit. I missed it. I missed it there. Fuck you. No, yeah,
Rudy, you want to sing a little bit? Let's do it.
I can't, dog. I can't. I voice, I fucking.
Llega Navidad y yo sin ti. Let's do this.
I can't.
Borracho-
Minimally
borracho
as
after
fuck,
dark,
though.
bro.
No, you can be
Minimally as
minimalistic.
fuck. I fucking. Oh, I
Girl,
lip sync the whole
know
thing.
it's true. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
All right,
love
man.
you. There you go, got
Where
it.
we,
There you go.
where we at? Where we at?
Do a lip sync.
All right, we got enough of y'all. Let's get the shit going.
Oh, Disturbia is a good movie. Agent's right. That movie's sick. Disturbia?
Is that the one with Halle Berry?
I don't think I've seen that one.
I think
I haven't seen it.
what's his name? Shia LaBeouf? Maybe? I don't know.
All right,
Yeah.
let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Yo, what up? And welcome to another episode of Straight from the Stands, an unapologetic, unofficial LA Galaxy podcast, hosted by 4 Foul supporters who bring you their thoughts and views on everything related to LA Galaxy, straight from the stands. I am your co-host Smarts, alongside the always angry Angel, his counterpart level-headed George, and the man with the facts.
Good evening. Damn it came out well. It came out well. I was hoping. I was hoping
I
it
don't know.
did.
I don't know something about your voice, Rudy, right now, but it's got me in the mood. I just wanna, and just girl, it's true.
Mm.
Ooh, love you. Just all types of shit. Just hey, pretty baby with the high heels on. Just all types of vocals.
Hey, Rudy, get your voice back, dog,
Come on,
please.
Rudy. All types of vocals. Hey,
So, as for the age of the Ludi, my voice is a little shot because I was at the game yesterday, which is fucking dope. But I won't do a lot of talking today. I'm gonna let the other co-hosts do more of the talking because obviously I can't. But let's get it kick on. How you guys doing? How you guys feeling? Being 6 points top of the league right now.
Oof. What?
Top of the league.
Oof.
Stop.
Stop the count.
Stop the count. Stop the count. How you feeling?
Count.
George, how you doing?
I'm doing amazing. It's a beautiful, beautiful day.
In the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Maza, how you doing?
I'm chilling, baby. No L's this weekend. I'm so happy.
None whatsoever.
None. None whatsoever. I'm so happy, Doug.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Angel, how you doing? How's the audio?
I hope the audio is good. I know my voice is on point, but I don't know about my setup. I think that's why I've been having issues for a while. Like, you know how I feel about audio and how it pisses me off. So I really hate hearing my voice on the podcast right now because it's trash. It's absolute shit. So I give up already. I gave up on two things this weekend. I gave up on this computer, so I decided I'm gonna go and just buy brand new shit and have top notch shit moving forward. And two, fuck Spectrum. Spectrum got me. I'm gonna have to cave in and pay for cable again because can't watch the Kings, can't watch the Dodgers, can't watch the Lakers, can't watch the Galaxy.
No, I hear you.
It just sucks ass, bro. So I caved. Yeah.
I hear you. I've been thinking about that too because like I'm the same boat. I cut the cable like last year, and I'm hurting. Like I have to look for streams. I have to fucking hit up people up. Like yo, let me get to log in. So yeah, I hear you. I was thinking about it as well. All right, boys. Let's get into it. I was gonna go right into the game, but a couple things I know in the tailgate. We did it right before they announced Leggett being suspended for 2 games. His first game out was versus Red Bulls. We figured that one out. The next game is against Seattle, which I know we'll talk about on the tailgate, but how big is his impact for the next game? We're not going too deep into it.
Can we talk about the suspension? Can I mention that?
Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
I agree with the suspension. I get they had to do what they had to do, but if you're going to suspend him, do the minimum 3 games. I get it. I get what you're trying to do by doing the 2 game. Listen, I get it. But if you're going to do it, do it. If you're really going to set an, if you're going to set an example, if you really want to set that example, don't look like an idiot. Listen, I might be the only one thinking this way. They purposely did 2 games because we know what the 3rd game's going to be.
Yeah.
We know what it is. The league knows what it is. If you're going to do it, do it. Now you just look dumb by giving out that suspension. Personally, the way I feel, you look dumb giving out that suspension because everyone knows it's a 3-game minimum, as it should be. Regardless of he apologized or not, I'm not going against the suspension at all. It's the amount of games that they suspended him for. Do I want him on the team for that game? 1,000%. I'm not saying I don't want him on the team, but if you're really going to like, oh, we're gonna do this because it's the right thing to do, then do the right thing.
Listen, I'm with you when it comes to like the suspension and why he was suspended.
Yeah.
You know, this regarding the motors and everything. I'm okay with that, right? But I'll be frank with you. Actually, that's Frank. I'm Rudy. But I'll be honest with you. Just being honest with you, like I'll take it. If they wouldn't have given 1 game, I would have taken that as well, right? Like give him the minimum amount because I want him back on the team. I think he makes the team work better when he's on it. So 2 games, it is what it is. And Seattle's no joke. I know we'll talk about it more at the tailgate, but Angel Massa, what do you guys think? Like, how big is this? Are we missing? How bad is it for us missing Leggett for the game against Seattle?
It's gonna hurt.
Opinion. Actually, yeah. Go ahead, Massa.
Absolutely, because Jonah went down with injury, so there's the answer to that.
I don't. Okay, we'll talk about that because that did happen as well. But yeah, I mean they're both out. That's a problem. Angel.
You know what it is? Yes, is it impactful? Of course, there's no question, right? There's no question around it. And we'll get into this past game, right? So we can talk a little bit about Saldana and perhaps what the difference there would have been and all these things that we can talk about, right? But in terms of the field and being next to Jonah, yeah, absolutely. But I think we have some cushion and some wiggle room where hey, we don't need him in terms of like it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't matter what happens in Seattle, but right now we are ahead of schedule per se, right? We're 6 points at the top. I know it's 2 games in, but we're the only team to do so. So
Yeah.
we get a draw, or even if we draw points, it's. I'm not saying that it's not gonna affect us, down the line or anything like that. But I think we have some wiggle room right now. Like, all right, you know what, we can. Let's say we do take that L, right, and getting ahead of ourselves, and we do take that L in Seattle's like, okay, you know what, we understood we didn't have legit. We understand his importance after seeing the game. Red Bulls, and obviously hypothetically speaking, then Seattle we've set ourselves up to be in good position regardless of what happens in Seattle.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, right? Because I think you're 100% right. We're off in the right foot, which I don't think a lot of us expected us to be. Right, the position we're in right now,
Right.
we have 2 point padding that I don't think none of us expect to have after 2 games. Right, coming into season. Okay,
Listen,
you
we
expected?
all called wins though. We all
Yeah.
called wins though.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like previous years where we said like, hey, we're a Galaxy podcast and we're gonna take dubs, even though we knew we were probably gonna get our asses beat pretty bad. Listen, I said
Well,
earlier
listen.
this in preseason, right? I'm more Rudy-ish right now, where I have this balance of Rudy and Angel within me, right? So it's like I'm a mix. Now it's a little bit of that, and it's real, and I think it's real from Georgia. I think it's real from us. I think it's real from you. So when we talked about, hey, win in Miami, win in New York, regardless of how the victories have been, we can obviously hear the previous podcast about them. We'll talk about Red Bulls here and the game in general, but there's really has been a sense like, hey, it's I think we can win, and we've talked about this. We even went over where we'd end up in the table, right? So I'm not.
Well, no,
with you in terms
well,
of,
listen.
I think other people perhaps.
I
Other
don't.
people perhaps like Odessa,
I don't
whatever,
think.
but I think
I don't think anybody expected we'd be the only team who won 2 games. I don't think anybody expected that
it's
we'd be
different.
2 points ahead. Right. That's what I was referring to.
Right.
Not necessarily because we called wins. Right. But like how other games have panned out, other results,
fair.
and let's put us ahead of the group. Right. 2 point padding. 2 games in. I'll take it. Right. Because no matter what, we have that padding right now. So I think what you said, a lot of it has to hold up. It's interesting to see what Jonah's status is coming in for Seattle, right? Because I think that puts a lot of emphasis to. One thing we know is that hopefully they're all good because we have that match against Levas, the next home game. So it's an interesting time right now. Last thing I want to mention before we go into the New York game is you guys catch a town hall or at least glimpse of it? Heard about it?
What?
The town hall on Friday.
Oh, yeah, I heard some pieces.
So they pretty much confirmed Koulibaly, right? Like Koulibaly and another player. That's it. Thank you, man. And after some of the performances, and we'll break it down right now. Like it's kind of a good thing to have to hear that we're getting another center back in, right? And especially center back that seems like he's coming off a good season in Nancy, whatever the club is. We talked to him a little bit. We talked a little bit about him. So perfect timing, no?
Absolutely.
Yep.
Agree?
Absolutely.
All right, man. So anything else? Did I miss anything? You guys have anything else you want to talk about? News, rumors related before we get into the New York game?
The only other thing is that they, if I recall correctly, he mentioned there's also a second person, right, that they're about to get over the line too.
Yeah, but we have no idea what that is yet, right? Or do we?
Right. So speculation. I mean, George, really don't chime in. If
Mhm,
obviously this is all speculation and save your voice. But George Massa, in terms of what we know with the squad right now, right, where we're at and positions, and we've always talked about the center back roles and the depth that we have at left back and right back now. Obviously, O'Neal Fisher was big step up, right? So that's definitely, we do have depth there. We do have depth at the goalkeeper position. We have depth perhaps in the majority of the positions, perhaps maybe except the winger roles and perhaps the striker role. So we're talking about, hey, they're talking about they're getting somebody over the line in addition to Koulibaly. Who is that second? And maybe not person, but so I'd say more so, what position do you think they're going for?
I feel you shouldn't be very excited about it. I have a almost 99% feeling that it's going to be a G2 player going up to be a striker.
Mm. But do you think they'd be making that, such a low thing, or I guess keep it under wraps per se? I mean, it's just a D2 player. What's the big deal? You can say, hey, we're probably working bringing one of the Galaxy 2 players.
But when
It's whatever.
but
Well,
when
you
has
can
the
say that.
Galaxy ever said? I mean, yes, it can, cause but then it would leave that that sense of like excitement out of it. Everyone would be like, oh, okay, cool. But now that they're saying, oh, we got two people over the line, we know who one is. If one is kind of a dud or something that's not as exciting, well, oh, we got this guy, so we signed two people, and to them it's just a number, I believe. It's my thought.
Also,
I personally want like a striker slash winger. If we do sign someone, but I mean, I still think we could use like another CM, quality CM, or a second striker slash winger. That would be my best bet.
pretty.
I don't know, man. If I just look at the team we started, right, and I plug in the pieces that we're missing right now, um, I would also bet on some type of wide player that could be versatile and maybe even get tossed up front if needed. Right. If we look at the team, at least in the last 2 weeks, the one thing that we need is somebody who's willing to fucking to die for 90 minutes, right? Just run after shit and make the team push forward like Subak, right? Like, again, anybody that's determined like Subak with a little bit more skill is going to be impactful for the team. So I'm thinking a white player or maybe an attacker that could perform almost the same with more skill than Subak, in my opinion.
I think I'm in agreement with the two of you, Frank and Rudy.
Yeah. The thing too is like international spots now they're not as available as we had them. Right. I'm not sure what the number is or if we have a available one. Also, our money I don't think is that long anymore either. Right. There's been a lot of signings, especially we're talking about we're going to sign Koulibaly and them. I don't know if he's coming in as a 10 player and how much money we have. So a little bit to what George's saying too is like maybe temper expectations. Maybe somebody who's just a little bit more talentful or more. I don't know, fucking more technique on his foot than Subak, but similar to Subak, where he's just willing to fucking work for 90 plus. All right, dope. Let's get into this game versus Red Bull.
Chris Moreno in the chat said that Alessandrini's coming.
I'll take him.
Everyone getting hurt. He's like, hell yeah, I want to fit in.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, dickhead. All right, let's get into starting 11 for the Galaxy versus the Red Bull. We had Bond and goal, which I think we all expected. Depew and Stairs returning for a second game as center backs. Araujo at right, Villafana out left. Saldaña and Dos Santos in the center middle positions. Vasquez playing the cap position with Grant Zier and Subak running the wings, and Chicharito up top. Off the bat, Araujo. Was anybody surprised where everybody was just like, okay, what's going on?
I called it.
I was surprised.
Yeah.
I was surprised because I would have gave Fisher that back-to-back game. I think he earned it in the first game, and I don't think there was a reason to drop him for the second game.
Yeah, listen, I think it might come down to just pecking order, right? Julian was first, and Julian wasn't available, so that's why Fisher got to start. Fisher got Araujo got the start again, and we'll talk about it because I think there's some questions now. Right, I think there's some questions there. What about Saldaña getting his back-to-back starts?
I was good with it.
Called it
Yeah,
as
I
well.
was good with it.
And then Subak, I think everybody was pretty. Well, actually, you called that too, George. I think you called that as well, no?
No, I called Legit. I didn't know that Legit was suspended at that time.
That's right. But with that being said, I think if we would have known Legit was out, I think a lot of us would have pointed at Subak to start out wide there. No,
I would have been Zubek or Efra. Yeah.
Efra too. That's a guy we got to talk about a little bit as well. All right, man. Listen, I don't think it was too much of a surprise to any of us. The start lineup, it kind of made sense. All right. going into the match after seeing the starting lineup, you guys still confident in a win?
Uh,
Pre-match.
I was.
I was okay. Yeah, I was fine.
I didn't really have doubts, to be honest. And this game was so weird, but no, I didn't have doubts about us getting a victory at home. So
Yeah, no, and all right, and let's get going. And again, I'll set it up. You guys talk about it for a little bit, so it sounds better than just my raspy ass voice right now. But give me thoughts of that first half, and it's a lot to break down in the first half, right? We have goals, we have defensive letdowns, we have a lot happening in the first half. Give me thoughts. Hey, just set it up. You start off wherever you want to start off.
I think from the get go, I don't. And correct me if I'm wrong. And George specifically, Massa specifically, you guys all saw this on TV, like I did. And Rudy, whatever you were able to grasp, at least from the
I
first
watched
five
it
minutes,
again.
or right?
I watched it
Okay,
again. Yep.
perfect. So
Yep.
from before we scored, just before we scored, right? Before all that happened, do you guys feel like we came out with the intensity as we did? And because I don't think we came out with intensity against Miami. I think we came out a little flat. I think we've started in a similar manner, at least the first 2-3 minutes where we really weren't setting the tempo. We weren't deciding we're doing. Jonah to me again was an issue in those first few minutes because he wasn't setting the tempo. He wasn't controlling that midfield from the beginning. He just kind of let New York be, and that to me is an issue, or it was right because New York. I don't think New York has the quality players that they used to have. They have some promising talent, yes, but for Jonathan not to be running and being the general in that center midfield from the get go to me was a concern, and that was the biggest issue for me just from the beginning, from right from the get go. I was a little concerned. It wasn't not. I was never saying, "Hey, we're gonna lose this game." I didn't feel that at all.
Mhm.
It's just I'm not liking the way that we are playing right now because of Jonah. He's not being that guy that I want him to be in that central midfielder role. Did you guys see that, or is that just me maybe being too hypercritical on him as of late because he is our DP on contract year?
I I don't want to just put it on Jonah. I completely agree with you that he's been underwhelming, but personally, and I agree with you that they did catch us, but I think it's just personally we weren't expecting the pressure that they were going to give us, and I think it caught us for a little bit. Nothing crazy because they didn't do anything wild at the beginning, but I think we kind of let them set the tempo at first, which was not that great. Especially us calling it from the beginning, saying, "Hey, they're going to put that pressure. Let's try to control this ball and
Yeah,
play." Um, so yeah, I agree, but I don't want to fully put it on Jonah. I think it was as a whole, uh, the back line and the center midfielders didn't really anticipate that pressure.
which is
I
interesting because that's Red Bull's mo.
so I
They play the high press, so that's
so 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 I think that was by design, right? I think I called it on the tailgate that I expected the G's to try to absorb some of that pressure, right? Just kind of let them run out a little bit, feel comfortable within the press, and be able to touch the ball under pressure, right? I think where they failed that was being able to touch the ball under pressure because there was it got sloppy, right? Like they couldn't withhold that pressure and it got sloppy for me, especially in the beginning of the game. Um, but I thought it was by design. I thought it was really by design by like allowing them to fucking like run out. They can't. I don't think Red Bulls. But I think it was obvious. I don't think they're prepared to do that for 90 minutes, right? It wasn't for me, and it's getting a little ahead of myself. But it wasn't until like our midfield core kind of got switched around that Red Bull really uh, took the hold of the game. Right prior to that, I don't think it was that case. But I did realize that we were just absorbing a lot of that pressure that Red Bull was trying to do, especially early on in the game.
okay. It's fine.
Masa, you got anything to say about that?
I agree with Rudy. I think it was by design. Slow the ball down, try to keep possession. Obviously, Red Bulls, if they're good at something, it's obviously the high press. They're a high pressing team. They have the youngsters to run as much as possible for the high press. And I don't think we start like. I mean, technically, yes, we do start slow, but I think it's something. It's like that's Greg Vanny's ball. Like he wants to hold the ball. He wants to play it slow, side to side, all that cute shit that I'm not a fan of. So and sometimes when we don't
All
have
that
the
chit chat.
players, we don't have the players to with the quality to play out the back or make the perfect pass or the players to hold on to the ball and when they're under pressure to let it go fast enough or to not panic, then it could get sloppy, right? Like it did at some points. But I still think this is by design. So I mean, so I agree with Rudy, 100%.
All right, cool.
Um,
I'm mad at that.
what I did expect though, what I didn't see at least initially, actually I didn't think I saw much of it, which is what bothered me was that when we absorbed that pressure, especially when it was like to one side, I didn't see us exploiting like the opposite side where the space was at, right? Because if they press at you one side, they always were leaving the opposite side pretty wide open with like space to connect the ball, especially the long ball. And I didn't see you take advantage of that. Like the rotation of the ball when that was happening was way too slow, right? So like as we rotate slow, New York also shifts the line, so you're never catching them really off guard until you did, right? Because some of the chances early on for Chicharito were that where it was a big bomb from fucking Steris that puts him over. That first touch churning, he takes a shot on to keeper, but it was that, right? There was another play similar to that where he gets found early. He handles the ball, turns to gives it to Grenzier, and Grenzier to the shot. So like I think that was the game plan. And I'll be honest with you, like I like this, right? Because it wasn't what we saw in Miami. It wasn't what they were trying to do for Miami. It was what they were trying to do for New York this game. The way they were going to attack New York for this game, and that's super interesting and super to my delight because I'm seeing Greg Van think of shit, think of the opponent, not only at the team that you have and the way you want to play, but also who you're facing and what you got to do to face that team. Which I enjoy, bro. I can't lie. That shit like it gets me up. I like it.
Okay.
Talk to me, boys, about that because the first goal comes in pretty early on, right? It's 9 minutes in, so before the 10-minute mark, we get the first goal from Chicharito, right? Talk to me about the play. Actually, George, not George, Angel, take this one, right? Because to me, Biafanya influences this goal a lot. Biafanya influences this goal a lot but for being smarter to press when you need to press, causing them to lose the ball, and then the attacking goes into Subak. I know you had some thoughts about Biafanya, so talk to me about this play. What you like? What was there?
Yeah, and you know what? Just and that's I was pausing for a second, and I was a little quiet right now because I was thinking a little bit more about the game, and it's true. I guess more so about what Rudy and Masa, you guys mentioned, about the high press and the way that the Red Bulls came out. Thinking about it, it makes sense because they were also playing with three at the back, right? They weren't playing with a
Yes.
flat four at the back; they were playing with three, so that makes sense. They probably had one more in that center midfield role or somewhere, that's not playing in the back that was causing maybe a little bit more of the disruption in center midfield for us, right? Where it was more Red Bulls. Now thinking about it, because then you mentioned, that Chicharito had the spaces. Well, yeah, there was more spaces and more space for Zubac to make that run, and obviously leading up to this whole Villafania conversation, because there were only three at the back, right? So they were a little bit more exposed for those type of roles. And obviously you mentioned the Grand Sierra opportunity. So thinking about it more, it makes sense. It does make sense. But the Villafania thing, I think I mentioned that last podcast. I don't have an issue with him. It was. I think it. I definitely have my issues with him in preseason, right? And I said it, and I think in that pod before the opener, I said, you know what? Maybe Rudy, you were probably right. Probably regular season's gonna come around and gonna play at a different level, and that was the case in the game against Miami,
Miami.
and he's some same thing here this game. Talking about that first goal, I don't know what it is about him right now that I've noticed as of late, but he knows his timing is right. I think this is that veteran presence, and I think O'Neal Fisher does this too. Obviously, we're not referring to, but he did it very similar in the Miami game, in terms of they pick and choose when they're gonna go, right, because they understand maybe that they're a little bit on the older side, and they probably don't have the legs to keep up with one of the younger players, or maybe some striker DP that might be one of the quicker guys. Who knows, right? Their decision making spot on, at least from what I've seen, right? When he decides to make that lunge to take the ball away from the Red Bulls player, it was perfect timing. It was impeccable, man. I don't even there's no other way of explaining it. Like that's just years of experience, years of experience in saying, hey, this is the time to go. this is time to move. I don't know if he realized that Zubac was there or not in the empty space, because like when you're doing that in that type of role and you're playing left back or right back, you can only lift up your head so quick, right? It's very
Yeah.
quick to see what's in front of you. The bright side is when you're, at least when you're in that type of role, you have space and you can see the entire field for the most part. Now, obviously, granted, we were what 3/4 of the field right there, or maybe just a little bit on there,
Yeah,
and but
past half. Yeah.
same right, but same concept in terms of what he's able to see, right? What he has in front of him. Pickpockets. Not only does he pickpocket, he's able to pickpocket in a way where he can set himself up just to dish it out to Zubac, right where Zubac needs to get that ball. I have nothing negative to say about Yafanya. Just like, yo, I was wrong in having my concerns, right? I'm not saying that he wasn't it. I just had
Mm-hmm.
my
Mm-hmm.
concerns, and listen, he said, "Yo, chill out, Angel. That was just preseason shit. Regular season shit at me is a different story because he's showing it with his balls. They're on point, right? Well, yeah, también esas, ¿verdad?
Sorry,
But well,
sorry.
that too,
I'm
like
12 years
no, but
old.
it's true, like, but even then, like he is ballsy. He goes in hard. Like he has
Yeah,
a
he
couple
does.
slide tackles that that he ballsy shit. Points, balls have been accurate. He's pickpocketing when he needs to. He's going for plays when he's not being as reckless as I saw him being a little bit in preseason. He's being a little bit more cautious, but with the right timing. He's been spot on.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what else to say about him. It's just all the praise to him.
No,
He's been right there.
I think you called it right, and I think that's what I was kind of hoping you get to is the fact that he was smart enough to recognize that he put himself in a situation I could press him right now and start something going forward, right? And again, so he starts that Suba takes it. George Massa, somebody talk to me. How'd you guys see this, right? How'd you see Suba take the space and what ends up being the Chicha goal?
Hold up. I just want to touch on Villafania just a little bit.
Yeah.
As far as that, I think it was a smart play, and I want to give, and it's a veteran move, 100%. They were pressing us since we did play the ball out the back. So they had like 4 or 5 players in our half at that point. So when he saw that the guy was trying to control the ball and he went after it, he knew if we win this ball, we're on a counterattack, which is something that we talked about in the tailgate. If we're gonna
Mhm.
do it, if they're gonna be pressing us, that counterattack's gonna be there. It's all about getting that ball straight to the wingers and having them run. We called this goal. It's crazy because this is word for word exactly what we said. We said that the ball was going to go through the midfield. It kind of went to the defender straight to the winger, but it was perfect. To the Zubac, I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to feel. We got the goal. That's what matters. I think the pass needs to come there. I think there needs to be a pass there, and you need to see that space, or at least give me a shot that's going to be worth it because that shot was flat. That shot was bad. That shot wasn't. It didn't have anything
I'm
on it.
gonna
But it was on frame though.
hold on. I'm
That's
gonna
what I
Uh,
didn't
I'm
agree
gonna
with it.
I
disagree
think
with George 100% right here because
Go for it.
we complain about Zubac always overthinking stuff,
Mhm.
and after making the first good play, he'll fuck up the second play. And right here, he did what he had to do. Chicharito makes the run for him. He obviously doesn't have the skill or didn't have the vision to make the pass. So what he decides to take the shot, which I'm not mad at. Whether the
Mhm.
shot was blocked, whether the shot was wide, it's still a shot, and that's what you want your striker to do. If the shot is there, let's say he makes that pass or he overshoots the pass or whatever, you're gonna be more mad that he did not take the shot.
Shoot.
So I'm 100% happy with what Zubac did.
Mhm.
Whether the shot was ugly or not, I don't know. To me, it was a block shot. I thought it was on frame or it was gonna be close
I think the
to the
defender put it
pole.
on. The defender put it closer to the pole because it went off his leg.
Possibly, but the point is that he took the shot. When how many times have we criticized him for
Yeah, that's fair.
not
That's
stepping up
that's
to
a,
shoot? You
that's
know,
a,
like he'll
Or
hesitate.
or
So I'm happy with it. I'm happy with what he did. I'm happy with what Villalfaña did,
mhm.
and I'm more happy with the way that Chicha chased that ball down. Man, that shit was almost at the line.
That's his goal. But listen, I'm not against it, but I think if the shot would have gone and we would have seen the shot without it being blocked and how it would have gone, I still think the ball gets to Chicharito because the ball was going straight to him. He wouldn't have had to make that extra effort to throw himself and kind of get there. But if you're gonna make a shot, give me a shot that's well worth it. I don't know if he wanted to shoot or pass on that point. And it's unfair for me to criticize that because I'm from the outside looking in. Like I could say, oh, here, obviously in the heat of the moment, if you're gonna shoot, give me that shot. And I
This
don't
is
think that's
funny, George, that you say this because there are two things to this.
uh-huh.
In my opinion, one, really quick, Rudy shout you out again because this is something you said about Koreniak, you said about You pointed about Krinik, you pointed out about Dunbar. In the preseason, hey, you know what? These kids, even if they fuck up or whatever, I want you to commit to what you're gonna do. Right? Do whatever you're doing with intention. Zubac, this is 2 games in a row now where he's doing that. Listen, we all know about his limitations as a professional soccer player.
Mhm.
That. So I don't expect much from him, but at least commit to what you're gonna do, right? To whether you're gonna shoot or pass, whichever the two he decides to do, just commit to it from the beginning. Don't second guess. Like if you say, "Hey, fuck it, I see Chicha making that back pull run. I'm gonna try to get this pass to him. Fuck it, do it." Or you know what? I have a better shot. Shoot. Second thing, and this is, I thought about you right now. I'm surprised that you actually weren't happy with Zubac taking the shot because you gave Aki Williams bullshit in the preseason for not taking a shot with his left foot.
Mhm.
Right, on some play where it was clearly a better shot for a left-footed shot, and he tried to do some bullshit with his
Yep.
right. I forget what. I'm so far back. I don't even remember what he did.
Uh-huh.
You know, Zubac is not right-footed. I mean, he's not
Uh-huh.
left-footed.
Yeah.
Zubac, out of everyone, actually decided to take a shot with his bad foot. I'm not mad at him for attempting to do something. First of all, his left foot's probably even worse than his right foot. Right? I'm probably would skyrocket. You know, and two, he actually committed to what he was going to do. Is say, hey, you know what? Fuck it. It's on my left foot. Even if I skyrocket, I'm committing to the shot, and he did it. I am not mad at that. Listen, if he would have shot it and skyrocket, I probably wouldn't have been mad at it either.
I
Because
would
it's
have
the
been
same
happier.
shit fine, that's fine. But it's the same thing as like the argue shit. Like you can't argue with. I was with you 100%. Like yeah, shoot it with your left foot, bro. Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
You can't come over here and say the same shit with Zubac when he did
No,
exactly what you
but,
asked
but what I'm
Augie
no,
to
but
do the
what
other
I'm
time,
saying,
though.
yeah, but what I'm saying, if you're gonna take a shot. I personally don't think that's a shot. I personally, to me,
Okay, so you think it was a pass?
no. I think it was a bad shot. I think it was one of those things where I'd rather you pass the ball than give me that. You give me
Man,
like, and you're a
Okay,
professional
I get what you're
soccer
saying.
player.
Yeah,
You're a
yeah, I
professional
get what you're
player.
saying.
Listen,
let,
that's the
let
type of
me
shot that I can make with my right foot.
let me
I
hop
get
in
what you're
here.
saying. Yeah.
Let me hop in here though, because like honestly, I'll be straight up looking at that play over and over again. Subas not hitting that pass, right? Like the defense had a good coverage. Chicha was spreading wide, but you need like a really good pass to hit him, right? Subak is never hitting that. I'm sorry. Like not even on his right foot, left foot, he's not hitting that, right?
I don't know. It's about
Listen,
his fade.
nah, look, go back on it. Like the way defense
I
stacking up,
can see it
the
right
way
now.
that so look right before he gets inside the area is the time he needs to give the pass. He don't have a clear pass. Like that's a really good pass to hit that right there. And I don't think that's in Subak's wheelhouse, right? So the fact that like to what Angel was saying, what I liked about it was the decision. He drove, he went at the defense, he pushed them back, right? And listen, and that's the magic of Chicharito. Because Subak's trash ass did that. Chicharito is ready for it though. No, listen, I'm sorry. Like Subak is not dope, man, but he works a lot hard,
I
and
know.
I love
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
I love him. Don't get me wrong. I'm really happy with him right now because he works. He's working his ass off, and he's creating shit out of nothing. Right? And
Yeah.
for me, everything he did was right because he took the shot that he could, right, in a dangerous position to the back post where Chiritos already fucking hanging out. Right? Chiritos it himself. He said, "I'll go back there because the goalie can make a block and give me a rebound. They could go wide and I could get the chance." You don't got to do much. You just got to fucking do the right thing so Chirito can end of him. And he did, man. So
Like I said,
again,
it's not fair for me to criticize because I'm from the outside watching it. You get me?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for me, over analyzing something, you're a professional player. Give me a good left shot. I personally don't think it was a shot.
listen, it's a good shot, and the keeper blocks it, and he pushes it wide. Chicharito never gets to end in it, right? Like we need that. I'm not mad at that at all. I actually enjoyed it a lot because again, it's what he does well, right? He has short sprints that you get out because he has the big legs to cover ground, so he can sprint there. He made defense push back. Now he's wide.
You guys read that?
Hey, Manny Serrano said, "Yo, when y'all replace Rudy with Doc Rivers."
Hey man, I straight up 90 minutes plus. Yo, every week for like 6 weeks, I'll be like this, and then I'll be all right. All right. Listen, 1-0, and we're feeling right, and we're feeling
But I
right.
think only was it only Massa or George the one that addressed Chicharito and his hustle to the ball? We didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk
I
Chicha
thought I
right
just
here
did.
because
Yeah.
this shit.
I want Massa to talk to Cheech because he's biggest shit talker ever. So Massa, go ahead.
Yeah, it's not wrong.
You
So
were wrong.
it's not wrong.
Okay, so I go
So
Cicero.
anyways, so shout out to Cheech, man. Like That's the type of shit that last season he wouldn't have gotten there. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he had the legs, and everything that he's done this offseason is paying off. I think the confidence from the first game, man, that ankle is tight, bro. It's super tight, man.
Yeah.
And fuck, man. Kudos to that man, bro. He said it himself. He reads the play, to what he thinks where the ball's gonna be at, and that shit is a skill. Like movement without the ball is a skill that not very many strikers in the world have.
I've seen George do it all the time.
Yeah, that's accurate. I was just about to say the same shit. Good shit. Appreciate that.
Not many strikers in the world have that instinct. Because to me, it's an instinct. It's like a sixth sense. And fuck, man, that man hustled there, and he all he had to do was put the ball in, and he did it, man. So fuck, man. One goal up, I'm fucking happy. I'm like, this is a dub right here. It feels like a dub because at that point we had already turned the game around. I think we had control of the game already. So it was good to
Yeah,
see.
we're definitely putting our imprint in the game at that point. Um, but it doesn't last very much, right? Because 15 minutes later, um,
Chill, dog.
15 minutes later, I think Julian gets exposed, right?
Bad.
Especially after what we saw Fisher do the week prior, I think Julian gets exposed right now. And it's what the opposite of what we're talking about with Subak. This is the play where he goes to end line, right? That's the play. The first goes to end line goal, right? So like Julian tracks back and he gets there, and he does like this soft like poke at it. Like he doesn't necessarily go for a tackle, kind of almost try to poke at it, and it kind of goes rolls over, hits him in the heel. Like that's the problem with not being decisive with what you're doing. Because if he goes in there, he plants himself, he puts his feet out there, the play's over. But he was so timid with that like half-ass tackle that it ends up bouncing off him and sets up the rest of the play.
Yep.
Come on, guy. You know what I mean?
Last time I were
that.
talking about it during this time, and
Interesting.
and that was the first thing that I called. I was like, and I wanted Julian to start. So if I'm talking shit, but I wanted this man to start. He had a bad game. And I know we're just talking about the goal. It was soft. If you're gonna go across with your left foot, get the ball, take out the player, or at least get the ball hard enough to where it's gonna go to the person that's gonna help you out in the back. Because if you hit it against if you hit it against the player, it's gonna go back to your wing and it's gonna help you there. Or the ball's going out to a corner kick. I'm okay with that. But if you're gonna half-ass that tackle, or if you're not gonna get there, that's exactly what happens. What happened after that is bad luck, but that's the result of you going in soft.
Mm-hmm. Not be incisive with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Masa Angel.
I don't know. I don't agree with it. I think it was more of a bad luck, like a bad luck situation, opposed to a bad
Not
play.
committing.
Yeah, I think it's more of just unlucky bounce. But man, that guy coming in was wide open. Like where was the help? Like we're supposed to be. We've been way more compact defensively, and we saw the leaks from the midfield. I understand that Julian he poked the ball out, and it didn't go in, but that man was too open, and then open shot, open goal, well placed. Nothing Bond could do about that one. But to me, it's more about bad luck right there.
Mm,
I don't know. It's
I
I
don't
have to
know.
watch it again. It's
I'm trying
very
to
unlucky
remember.
bounce. Dog. Like that shit's like some FIFA shit.
Was
That's
he
a
like
super stupid bounce.
You know
again?
what though? Go ahead.
No, go please. I don't want to talk.
And I was gonna say that, and as it sees Rosas on in the chat, I alluded to, and that's where I was gonna get to. The root of the problem really starts with Saldana and that giveaway and that midfield. I understand, like, I know that I gave Chicharito shit last game, the Inter game, for that bad giveaway, right? The bad ball to to the Jet that in turn turned into the questionable goal, right? Offside, maybe, maybe not. It's really, at this point, it's we don't have indisputable evidence to say either or, so they stay with the call in the field, right? The difference though is that Saldana is he's gonna make mistakes. And we want him to be out there to play his game, to do whatever he can. We as a fan base, and we know our game. We've been watching this shit for so many years. We understand that the kids are gonna make mistakes. Right, so I don't want to be here and saying, hey, this is on Saldana and this and that, because he's not Chicharito. He's not a designated player. He's not the person that should be doing the simple stuff. We know he's gonna make mistakes. He's gonna learn from it. That's okay. And as a matter of fact, we're gonna get to it after this goal. We're gonna get to something specific that I really pinpointed that I loved, and I texted Masa about this that involves Saldana. Yes, Saldana gave that ball away. Absolutely, he's the root of the problem, no doubt. That is the fact that you still have that he lost it with in midfield, was it? Something like
Yep,
that?
yep.
Halfway
It's in
Yeah,
the
towards
film
in the
split?
midfield.
on the left. Yep.
There's why did it take that Red Bulls player? Why do you have so much space to get from where he get to lead up to that bad bounce from Araujo or whatever it was? No, you got to be decisive. I'm with George on this one. Like if you're Araujo, you got to commit to that shit. Like there's plenty of even if it's a foul, you're not really. What's the worst? A yellow card right there. Do you?
And you stop the
I
play.
don't know. Right, like yeah, and you stop to play it. Don't let him keep coming in. You know what happened? He gets into the box. The Red Bulls player gets into the 18, and then Julian just becomes even more. He second guesses himself even more because he doesn't want to commit and give up the penalty kick, right? Because if he misses it and he gets the player, it's a PK. But
Yep.
if you stop the Red Bulls player before that, foul him outside the box or whatever, just a quick tug of the shirt, just pull him, stop his process. Fuck it, yellow card.
Man,
That's a
like,
smart foul. I'll take that any day. You avoid what happens and what leads and that fluke. Yeah, was it fluky? Of course, it was some FIFA shit that happened to him. That to Araujo that the ball bounced off of his heel. No one knew it was gonna happen. Come on, what the chance of that happening again? Very unlikely. But
but
it's what led to that whole process. When it got there, that's what really fucked with me. If you're the right back there, step up, bro. Step up.
it bothered me because again, the only reason it bothered me is because I seen Julian put a foot in there and causes that unlucky bounce. Right? If he doesn't put his foot in there, he overruns it. That's the way he's defending. It's cool. Like I think you can work on that. But if you get a foot there, that means you already knew you could make a tackle. You just didn't commit to it. Right? It was kind of like here there, and that was my problem to it. Once the bad bounce happens, he comes into area. Saldana kind of collapses on him too, and that's the man that comes in behind. It's Saldana's man because he collapses over the guy coming in. The defense, like they're kind of they have to drop in a little bit because of where the ball's coming in from. It's coming out from the wide, so they have to drop in a little bit in front of fucking Bond. That space opens up behind. Again, it's not the worst case in the world, right? Like I don't think it's like, oh my god, Julian is trash, but it is little things like that, though, right? Because we could have gone into a half at 2-1, at 2-0 instead of 2-1, or at 1-1 at this point. So it's little things like that. But right after this goal, right after they scored, there's a big shot on Bingham,
Bond.
on Bond, Bingham.
Ooh, yeah, yo,
It would have
yo,
been
whoa, whoa.
it would have been a Bingham, but it would have been a goal. Would have been down 2-1. There's a big shot on Bond, and I think that also comes from a bad play from the Kemaka fucking Saldana, though. Like watch Saldana, duh. But it's another pass that leads down the middle and big time save from fucking Bond, dog. Like that's 3 points right there. Again, I mean that one I think he had another second half, but those are 3 points right there. Big save, crossbody. I mean, he used full frame to get to it and just knock it wide. How big was it? Like I was geeking the stadium, and I think nobody else was that excited except for me. But I was like super hyped over that play, over that, seeing that big block, seeing this big paw come across and save us from going down that game. I was fucking ecstatic, bro.
Yep.
It's crazy because at this point I had texted George, and I was telling this fool like, man, like we had this game under control, bro, and the goal, and then that shot, and for the like 10 minutes, it felt like, man, we're letting these fools play like we had these fools in the bag, like this stupid little shit defensively or whatever the issue was. It put Red Bulls back into the game, and to me, that game was way in control in our favor. So I mean, there's some shit that has to give, bro.
And
Well,
listen,
who played though? And it took, was it your boy, right? The kid you like from Red Bulls, what's his name?
Caden Clark.
Caden Clark. He's the one that got the injury, right? That ended up being like a 5-minute delay or whatever happened. He's the one, right? It happened that first half.
it might have been. I don't recall.
No. It was someone else with Bond and him.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
He
okay. Right.
crashed. The guy crashed into
Right.
Bond.
Okay. You're right. So there was like a 4 minute delay or whatever, and this is when
Yeah.
I texted Masa. Correct me if I'm wrong, but prior to that happening, Saldana was, I'd say he was probably the weak link in that midfield. Because I think we're starting to see a pattern with him that he struggles playing deep. Right? And it's I for the first few minutes I wanted Jonah to do something different, but like I said, Rudy, Frank, you guys' analysis changed my perspective, and I think you guys are right in the way that he came out and played, and just the team as a whole, right? Absorb makes sense. As the game progressed, I thought Jonah was running. He was hustling. He was all over the field, right? And at times I felt like he was covering space that Saldana was just giving up, prior to that injury. I think it's just one positioning for Saldana. I don't know if he's used to playing deep or not. I don't know. Or maybe he's just didn't realize, hey, I'm playing against more physical guys. It's not USL too. I mean USL, and it's gonna take him time to adjust to that. In terms of his talent and everything, I think Saldana will be fine on the line. No, not concerned for him. But it was during that break where you see Victor Vasquez run over to Saldana, and I don't know what he says to him. No clue. You see Saldana there, just standing and looking at him, with his little tacuache ass fucking haircut, looking at Victor Vasquez with his no haircut ass, talking about whatever he's saying to him.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
see Victor
yeah.
Vasquez doing this, you see the movements in his hands, basically Victor Vasquez is coaching him.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what he tells him. Once play resumes, I generally feel that there was a very apparent change in the way that we were controlling the ball at that point.
Something
Saldana
something a
came
captain
also.
should do, no?
Hey, the leadership. Nah, the leadership. I'm not. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I think that's just a bit wild. Because I think that we all got leadership
Right,
in the team.
I'm not gonna get to.
I'll touch it.
I
I'll
don't
go
know.
fuck. I'll touch it.
It's fine.
No, I say you're wild for that. I didn't say don't touch it.
I'm okay with. Listen, George is not wrong. He is not wrong.
I
Because
think you're wild for
Jonathan
that.
probably should be the guy that should have ran over there and told him, especially because that's the guy playing next to you, and that you want Saldana to play alongside you, or however you just be suitable for Jonathan's game. It took Victor Vasquez coming over to Saldana and having some sort of a conversation and coaching him on field coaching. Obviously, maybe Vanny saw it too. Maybe it was Vanny that told Vasquez, "Hey, go and tell him this," or I don't know. Like I don't know how it happened, right? But Rudy, I don't know if you were able to see it from the stadium. Obviously, I know you saw
No.
the game again, so
I saw a game.
you
I see
saw
shit
that.
stadium.
Right. So I'm sure you saw it, but yeah, it took Victor Vasquez having a conversation with Saldana, and it was apparent from that point on. I thought Saldana had a very solid game, and it was very obvious in our midfield because from that point on, I think that our game changed. We weren't as flat, we weren't as deep. I think that changed the game. I think
Be-
that that injury was a blessing in disguise. It was like a timeout
Be-
in
be-
the game where
Before you move on, I just want to bring up Hugo's comment, because this is what I was referring to, right? That George is wild. Jonah was standing right next to them when that conversation is happening.
was he?
Yes, he's right there, like in the
Damn,
camera. You can see in the
that's
camera.
crazy. That's crazy.
So,
So
like-
I was so
Where's the camera?
tunnel vision, like this tunnel vision. So I was just so enamored with what Vasquez was doing with Saldana, who we've had this conversation. I think as a whole we think Saldana's future is bright. Like we generally think he's a gem,
Yep.
right? He just has polishing, like needs to be polished on things like this. And you guys see how apparent George, Masa, Rudy, you guys all saw the game on TV. Did you guys also see that after that conversation, after Vasquez went and coached him and said XYZ, the game did not change it in general as a whole for the Galaxy, right, in terms of that midfield?
Listen, I'm not sure if that's direction from Vanny or if that's Vasquez and Jonah kind of linking up saying, hey, this is what we got to do. But we've seen this twice now, that the change of tactics in game on the fly, right? Because shortly after that happens, and I'm trying to move the pot here, like shortly after that happens, you've seen Vasquez like pulling left a lot and getting wide a lot, right? Relieving a lot more of that space in the midfield, allowing for Jonah to step up a little bit, allowing for for Saldana to step up a little bit. Like that's on the fly because you weren't seeing it 10 minutes prior to that, right? Like that wasn't happening, and then it happens. And I think it's super fucking dope how they do that. I mean, I said it kidding on the tailgate about be water, but that's really what they are. They're super fluid with it. They're super fluid with the positioning, and it's crazy because like they understand it, right? A lot of times when you see coaches trying to do changes within the game, there's this control when the team takes a dip until they adjust. These guys are adjusting on the fly and they're adjusting good. Like it's crazy to see. That leads us to the fucking to Chicha's second goal, right? It's Biafanya again, like getting the ball in the midfield, pushing it out wide to fucking Vasquez, and Vasquez being a fucking genius and having a golden foot because like that pass, it does it's very effortless, and he pings it in a great position with giving the advantage to Chicha 100% of the time, right? Like Chicha, go ahead and miss it. Like that's pretty much what he does. Take it away. What you guys think about that goal, the build up, everything?
The vision of Vasquez is fucking insane. I want everyone that was pissed about us signing to get on this pod and say I'm sorry. I just want apologies from everybody because there was a lot of uproar of us bringing him. What is he going to do? Why are we going to get him? That's exactly why we're getting him. That vision. Come on, man. Who's going to be able to ping out that pass?
Yeah, man. Yeah, and even prior to it, and we could go back and talk about that. But even prior to that, like there was a good another minute and a half where we held possession. There was a time where Vasquez and Jonah linked up for like 3 passes consecutively, where they just kind of moved a few feet and they kept the ball and they rotated that ball, and that leads up to that goal, which that's identity, right? And you're doing it against a team whose sole purpose in the field is to make you uncomfortable, make you disorganized. Right, they press you the weird ways to get you there, and a team figures it out in moments, know how to hold the ball and create something. Right? Talk
That's
to
more
me.
of Vasquez though, because and I hope Cheats too, right? Because like I alluded to earlier in the pod, they were playing with 3 at the back.
Yeah,
When you play with 3 in the back, it's easier to split just 2 players because you're gonna have your right back and your center back. That's where Chicha was standing, and you see how wide that gap was. It was easily a good 20 yards, probably. Maybe a little bit less than that, but it was significant.
yeah,
Why? Because Red Bulls didn't have a right back, a pure right back to go and press. Right, there was this gap, so the right center back, or well, the right back that they had was in no man's land. Really, he had nothing. He had no option. He really didn't have anywhere to go. He was just literally on an island per se. Right? And same thing with the center back. I mean, he has Chicharito on his outside. He's just too central that makes it so easy for Chicha. Like
yeah.
that's genius.
Well, listen, look,
Genius. Chicha's positioning, genius on Vasquez understanding where to put that ball. Understanding putting it
Shows height.
between, right? And it's not like he put it close to the center back or close to the right. Well, center back or close to the right center back. No, it's literally like almost right in between the two. It's kudos to both. Chicha understanding where he should be between the two, the center back and the right center back, understanding that there is no right back. It's just those 2 guys that you have to split. They've given you a good 10, 20 yards of space to work with. I just will fucking just let him walk in with the ball at that point.
listen.
It's
You said it's easy.
times, bro.
You said it's easy, and I think it's Chicha making it look easy, right? Because the runs he's doing, like, when they're playing against 3 in the back, they were always putting defense apart from what they wanted to be. They want it to be like in a line pretty close together, but he's making every single run. It's not straight. It's always looking for that space. And the defense has to switch off, and when they switch off, is that space that Chicharito gets, right? In that play, specifically when it comes to that cross, Chicharito's run is towards the guy who he ends up getting the back from, right? I'm pretty sure the center back is trying to offload Chicha off to his like right center back, whatever you want to call it. But there's no time there, right? Chicharito already got your back, right? So big credit on Valdez where he places that ball, but also like
Vasquez, bro. Vasquez.
That's what-
season already, regular
Say
season, bro. Vasquez.
BB.
no.
Say BB.
That's what I said, but my throat is fucked up, so you guys didn't hear it right.
I heard, no,
Uh,
I heard it.
Yeah.
I heard it.
Yeah, it's the throat. It's the throat. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I
y'all
custom
messing up
to-
right now.
My ears got
Yeah.
accustomed to his age already, so I know that he's starting to.
Oh man, big credit on him putting the ball there, but also like that run, that touch, that finish,
That first touch.
that's
Come on, man.
ridiculous. Though.
confidence now with Chicharito, right? Because last game against Miami, legit gives him a dime. What does he do with it? It's
Yeah.
like Uncle ass touch,
Yeah.
this point it has to be confidence because similar, obviously different scenarios, different situations, but you have to bring it down, set it up for yourself.
Yeah.
He did. He did it all right. Like Rudy said, you made it look easy.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
100% confidence because we've always expected him to do it. It's not that he's a bad player. It's he was in his own head.
Yeah, listen, we talked about it last week, right? Like you saw the weight come off his shoulders after his first goal, and then you seen his swagger after that first goal too. Like it seemed like anything in the box that has a bounce that you get to is going to be a goal, right? Like, and what that does is that makes fucking Red Bulls switch back to a forward line, right? It makes them be aware of what they're doing. So it's super interesting. Listen, 2-1 at the half. I'm fucking static, bro, because we're at home. I'm in the stands, and we got a victory. Chicha has a brace again.
I just have to share this because the shit was pretty funny. So somewhere between the first goal, the first Galaxy goal, and the second one, I dropped coffee on Alice's white rug, so I missed most of the first half, like
Try
scrubbing
clean
that
it.
shit out.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. That's hilarious.
Result? I need to buy a new rug.
Fair. Rebels going to have and make some changes. I think it was to address a forward line and somebody back in the middle, which I think changes the game a little bit, right? Because I think now, at least from my view, I think the second half starts off better with the Galaxy in terms of like the intention and possession and just controlling a little bit of the other game. Too slow for my liking, though. I think it needs to be a little more up tempo. But I think the game starts with the Galaxy being just a more shared team on the field.
Can we allude to something just real quick before we get into the second half?
Yep.
Because we usually, that's what I was waiting for. Usually you ask, what do we think in general? Anything we want to go over in terms of first half right before we jump into second?
Yeah, go
What do
for
you guys
it.
think about Grant Zer?
I like him. I just want him to be able to play a little longer.
In the first half,
I
specifically the first half.
Oh, first half.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting to see the day we find him in space. Like we're yet
did?
to find him in space.
Well, we did,
Where?
and he doesn't have the pace.
Second half.
But that was the
He doesn't-
second half. But we're talking about the first right now. Though.
Yeah. Listen,
I think he's okay. I think there's the people underestimate the adjustment period in MLS, and it's only been 2 games.
Yeah.
You can see the talent is there. He probably not fully game fit yet, So he's good enough. Like to me, he's done enough to not play like have a bad game. I don't think he had a bad game, but he didn't do anything over the top either. He's had an average game, and I think he's still getting his legs. I think he's still getting adjusted to the league. I don't think he was expecting the pace of the league, so he gets a pass for now. I have nothing to say about anything negative to say, about it. To me, it's more of an upside. Like it'll come with time. I think. I'm not gonna
like
panic on him yet.
I want to see him.
Hey, Rudy?
I want to see him get a through ball between lines, like coming into the area, touching area. You know what I mean? Like that. I want to see that through ball, right? Because I think right now we're finding him way too wide, where there's a lot to do to get into attacking third or to attacking play, right? I want to see him get closer to like
He's
a
not
through
pacey,
ball.
so don't expect him to outrun the center backs, right?
But he has the
I-
skill. Like he doesn't even have to be
Right.
fast. Like he has. You could see what in his footwork. Like my man could hold the ball. He could cut back.
Yeah,
He could cut out. Like
I was
all that
supporting
shit
Rudy's
is.
statement.
Yeah.
Don't
It's
not if you're not
yeah.
get him out wide because out wide he doesn't really have the pace. Like he's not Dunbar. He's not what we expect Cabral to be, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, I was supporting Rudy's
I,
statement. I
I,
agree with what Rudy's saying.
I think he's technical. I think he's smart enough that like put him between lines and he can find the pass in between lines to score that goal, right? Like I think that's what I want to see from him, or at least that's why I expect him to be like at his peak when he's playing. Austin is going for the G's. That's what I expect him to be. I expect him to be the guy who's pushing that back line because he's trying to get in behind them, right? Trying to get Vasquez to feed him in between the lines to have Chicha coming in the back, or take the first time shot. But right now we're finding him way too wide, like like in the third. We need to find him in the last, touching end line for me.
Chemistry
So
still
therefore,
lacking with Grant Zer, right? Do you as a whole? Okay, thank you. And this is why I was asking. I wanted to see where your guys' heads was at because I heard Nag news on my way here last night, right back from Vegas, and it sounds to me like the consensus over there is like they don't see it, like it's Grand Series and it type of thing, right? I
That's
was
too
like,
early to tell,
I
man.
was like, in my mind, I was like, I'm not trying to talk shit or anything like that, but Eddie knows, Brian knows. Rudy, we're on the Borrachos chats and we have conversations all the time. Like it's
That's our
like an
friends.
ongoing podcast
That's our
on
friends.
there, right? Yeah, yeah. It's like an ongoing podcast on the Borrachos. Like we just carry over what we have here and in theirs, and we just bring it there, and we continue having the conversation on the Borrachos chat. But I'm with the three of you, 100%. And as a matter of fact, I think this game was evident, specifically this game and in that first half, how disconnected Chicharito and Grancer are,
Mhm.
right, in
Hmm.
terms of understanding each other's chemistry. Because there was a
Oh
few
yeah,
times where
actually,
Grancer gave Chicharito a ball and Chicharito didn't do what Grancer wanted, or vice
yes,
versa.
yes,
Chicharito didn't make a run, or look, at this point, it's not vivid exactly what it was, but
It-
it happened a good three,
it's
four times. A good 3, 4 times where, and it was both ways, right? One to the other,
yes,
and that's chemistry.
yes,
Games in
100%.
right, not even fully 90 minutes yet, right? One preseason game, or was it two? No, it was one preseason game that he
What was
played,
the
right?
game in the
Or,
two?
or maybe two, one or two, whatever. And even then, it was like what, 15, 20, 30, 40
like
minutes? Like
30
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
it hasn't been enough, right? And even preseason, we've been talking about it. Listen, Villafaña's playing different in preseason. Whoever, like everyone's playing a little bit different than they have, right? So I'm not concerned. Like I see what Rudy, what you said, George, what you said, Frank, what you said. I see it. All of that, I see it. To be clear, he is not a pacing winger. He's not our pacing winger. The guy that we went to go get to be that guy is Cabral. Right? He's supposed to be the fast one. Grant Sir is supposed to be more of a smart, technical. I'd say more like of a Sandini type of player because
But
Sandini
he
was
ain't
never fast.
slow. Yeah, yeah, but he ain't
Right.
slow.
He
Either.
was not slow. Right,
You know what I
exactly.
mean?
That's why I
Oh, he's
said
not
like a
slow.
Sandini because he was not slow. I'm not saying he's slow. I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
he's not 90 pace on FIFA, right? That's what I'm
yeah.
saying. I'm saying he's more like 80, right? That's what I'm saying. But that's what I wanted to get to because
So
it's like, listen, I'm big on, I'm saying though that player's ass or whatever, like this fucking trash or whatever. I don't see it. I have no issues with what I've seen from him so
so
far, especially in that first half. It was very evident that there's just lack of chemistry, understanding each other's movements and what each other wants to do.
as soon as you start talking about it, I know exactly the sequence you're talking about because Cherito does like a delayed run. He puts it in front of him. The second play, he puts it in front of him. Cherito does a delayed run. So it's that thing. Like if you just kind of flip him, there's a play there, right? But you guys were not in sync. So I see exactly what you're talking about, and I had the thought too. I just completely forgot about it. But you're 100%. Thanks for calling that out because I remember seeing that. And in my thought, like as soon as the second play happened, was, oh man, like when they figure it out, oh that's an early run, oh that's the delayed run, like he's gonna fight them because he's already, the intention is there, the chemistry is not. Actually we'll talk about it. We're not gonna go in the second half. Oh, anything else? Any other thoughts? Listen, we're a minute 30.
Those are the major ones. I still think Stairs is trash, but that's whatever.
100%.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Super basura, man.
All right, listen. I think the first goal, the center backs. Do you guys put blame on them for center backs on the first goal?
Oh.
I don't put him on them.
No. I wanted a little bit better counter defensively, like to react to that. But you really can't put the blame on them because you don't expect for that bounce to happen. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so I don't put blame on them. But I will say though, they weren't as sharp as they were in Miami, even in the first half.
I
Right.
think the fuel was though.
Yeah, I think for my liking, I don't think either one of them was sharp enough. Like on the day for me, especially if I compare it to Miami, like I thought it was bad. I thought it was a step down from that performance. All right, second half changes from Red Bull. I think the Galaxy adjust. They come out a little different. They start playing better. But it takes probably the only silver lighting of Araujo being in the field for us to get on board again, right? It's Araujo kind of recognizing the ball short and stepping up to it. He leads it off to Granzier. Granzier pushes it, waits for the overlap. Overlap happens. Julian gets to the end of it, crosses it, finds fucking Vasquez, right? Finds Valdez. No, I'm just kidding. Finds Vasquez. finds Vasquez. Vasquez doesn't get to it. It gets enough to get a flick on it, makes defense uncomfortable. They flick it. Chicha in the back post with aerobatics. Now, like, I seen that's the only goal I really saw from the stands. And I saw his fucking feet come up in the air, and I was like, no, you can't do that. That shit was so tight, banging in. Hat trick, Chicha. Before we talk about anything else, how like what do you guys feel? What's the reaction to Chicha's hat trick? First game back, hat trick at home. Give me some reactions to that.
I did this.
Hands in the head. Hands in the head for out here. Just
That was the perfect fucking story. It was perfect.
I looked at my dad.
Angel got his hands in his head, shocked eyes. For other listeners, if you haven't seen this.
I was screaming, dog, because I was down in fantasy by like 20-something points, and I captained Chicha this week. I said, fuck.
Smart man.
Dog, he won me the week.
Same.
You shouldn't be allowed to captain Chicha all season.
I do whatever the fuck I want.
You shouldn't want. Yeah.
Whatever.
Obviously,
I do what I
obviously
want.
we know you talk dumb shit about soccer. We know you talk out of your ass. You can do whatever you want.
No,
George,
not at all.
huh? You give me reaction to the hat trick.
Excitement, dog. I thought about people like Masa. I thought about Twitter world. I thought about everybody. When he goes like this, he's telling him, Masa, never call me again, dog. I never want to hear your voice. That's a celebration, dog. That's a celebration. When he does this, he's talking about
Sorry,
me.
Alex.
It was like me. That's a celebration.
Alex, I'm sorry for almost smacking nachos out of your hand, but fucking Chicha hat trick. Chicha hat trick at home, bros. Chicha hat trick at home, boys. The home opener, fucking hat trick, Chicha. After last year, after everything, like we couldn't be there, we weren't there for everything.
You just feel good for him.
Dog.
Listen, I think what George just said right now, right? Because listen, the first goal, I'm screamed, excited, crazy with the boys right there. Obviously the house. My dad was watching, so there's a lot of shit talking going on, right? And my little brother Rafita too. He's actually very knowledgeable in talking. All he does is watch soccer now. It's crazy.
Nice.
The second goal, automatically I crazy, excited. I knew I think from the get go it's clear that it was not offside, right? With that third goal though, it was different type of I don't know if I've ever celebrated that way, where I have no words,
lost for words,
loss of expression, loss of everything. It's just, damn, when you feel good for people, right? Because just the universe is backing you up, for all that shit you have going on, and it's. I can't even. I can't. I have no words to explain. I mean, the reaction it gave you guys is exactly what it did. No screaming, no running around, no. It's just I can't believe this is happening, and I'm all for it. It's no words. I don't know. New word, Chicharism. I was Chicharized. I don't know.
Listen, man.
So happy for him, and this is a guy that I don't care about his personal life, but it affects my team.
Yes.
The team that I love.
Yes.
Man.
Yep.
Yes.
I didn't know how to express my happiness for him and the joy that I can imagine you guys were feeling at the stadium and the rest of Galaxy across the world fans were. I think in that moment, rather than doing what everyone else was doing, it was just. Take in that moment, like just under everything that's been happening, and it's more good for us. I mean, we've gone through 5 years of shit. I mean, obviously the Zlatan years were good for individual reasons, but as a whole, I mean, the energy hasn't been there, and I feel like it's there right now. And like I said, like a Chicharized, bro. I didn't even know how to say just Chicharized.
Man, I'll talk about VBlock and how VBlock went through the game at the end of it. But like Arquitecto Verbal said, like haters and Chicha believers, all alike. It was Chicharito, Chicharito, and it was like in unison. It was like fucking euphoric. It's Chicharism as fuck, though. You know what I mean? Like it was amazing, dog. Like it was dope to see, dope to be there. And that's an easy victory. It's a wrap, right? 3-1. We're out of here. No, that's not how it happened. No.
We're the
That's
Galaxy.
not how
Come
it
on, dog.
happened. That's not how it happened. It's crazy though, because that in game, and even like watching the game when it was 3-1, like I felt that though, right? I felt 3-1. It's a wrap. We got this,
Yep.
right?
So
No,
for
knowing
like
the
2 minutes.
result, like knowing the result, how it all happened. As I'm watching the game, you still have that feeling of like, huh, like it's a wrap. We got this. It's we might get one more.
Mhm.
It doesn't turn out. It doesn't turn out that way. Just a couple minutes after we score. Uh, who's do you guys remember who's in the foul
I don't know
for
who
that?
fouled them.
Stupid ass stairs, dog.
Was it Stairs that
Dumbass
fouls him?
fucking Daniel Steres.
Was
But
it?
that's a different one, Masam. The one you're thinking about is the one that was right outside the box.
Oh no,
Who
yeah,
said
yeah,
he
yeah.
was
Yeah.
fucking
No, no,
goal.
no, no, no,
Oh
no, no,
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Yeah,
The one in the
that's
midfield.
yeah. So listen, I'm
I
all
don't
for
blame
giving
it on
Steres
Stairs.
shit. It was not Steres on that one. I can't
Oh, you're
recall
right.
off the top of my head who it was.
Yeah, 'cause
All
I
right,
remember all
but hey, but it's a foul in an area where it shouldn't be that dangerous. In my opinion, I don't think from there like it should be caught in a fucked up situation like we were. But what happens is a high line, and for me, and we go back and if you guys think it's something else, we could talk about it. But for me, it's Araujo once again who misses his fucking run.
1,000%.
Like he just not aware of the person. And the thing about it is like he's in front of Araujo when he starts to run. So Araujo should have been able to recognize that. But he doesn't. He runs, he beats him to a run. And then the bad touch backs him up 100% of the time. Right? Because when that ball pops up, Bond has to step up. But the way that it kind of just hangs in the air a little bit, it puts Bond in a fucked up situation.
Um,
It gets over him, it goes across and goes in. That was my take on it. Boys, go ahead.
I'm 100% on your boat. I completely blame Araujo for this goal.
Mm.
What do you guys think? Masa Angel. You guys seem like you have a different opinion.
So Angel mentioned it to me, and I was agreeing with George because he had told me fucking Araujo. He texted me, and I saw the replay, and that kind of stuck in my head. Then I saw the replay after me and Angel had this discussion, and he said, "Man, that's kind of on Bond because he didn't come out the way he should have. Like,
Ooh.
he kind of hesitated, and he did not go in 100% to get that ball. If it would have been a pen or whatever, it's a pen, whatever. But I feel like he didn't attack that ball the proper way, and to me, that's a mistake on the goalkeeper as well.
Listen, watching the replay, I
as-
don't think that a goalkeeper should ever anticipate a ball being chipped over from someone's heel to someone's head going this way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
but
the guy.
when okay, so it's not that obviously, but when it closes down after the ball comes over,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
back
Mhm.
touch, when he comes out for that ball, he did not come out. He kind of came out like with his hands on his chest instead of coming out big, getting himself big. He did not come out like that. He came out like this, like with his hands in front of like right on his chest instead of coming out with his hands over his head. Instead of making himself big, he did not do that.
Okay.
And to me,
when I saw that, what Masa just said, Rudy, I thought about you immediately because you're the one down here that talks about get big. No, just get big, get big, get big. Listen, if some fluky shit would have happened, and if Tarek would have, if Bond would have came out and gotten big, and it gets on Tarek gets it to his side or whatever, I wouldn't have been mad about it because he got big. He comes out and like Masa said, he's second guessed himself, right?
Yep.
And listen, I love Bond. There's 2 games in preseason, I'm all in, sure. There's 2 things that really bugged the shit out of me with this. It's one that they get big. There's still a very likelihood that he still would have gotten the ball over Bond, right? That Tarek would have probably gotten the ball. Very likely. I still don't want to see you coming out hesitant with your arms are here. I want to see you come out, get big, get scary. Get scary. Even if if you don't get it, that's fine. But get scary, like intimidate. Just use your size. The way you're coming out, your attitude, intimidate the forward. It's mental game. There's also a mental aspect to goalkeeping. Rudy, you know this, right? Second thing is that he came out, but then he kind of pulled back. He wasn't sure what to do. He second guessed himself. I think, Rudy, you said this so many times. Okay, if I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna commit, and I'm gonna go all the way through. If I'm not getting the ball, I'm taking you out. That bugged the shit out of me because he did it. He
So
came out and he pulled back. Oh, listen, like Mas said, I'll take that penalty. Fuck it, because even in the penalty, it's 50-50. And
so
it's not an obvious shot of a goal, so no red for Bond. Take him out, bro. Come out and just come hard and take him out. Like, don't. It bugged me. I understand the beef for Araujo, sure.
yeah, that's fair.
That wasn't even. Like,
So
absolutely, I'm not knocking that.
so listen.
Definitely not a goalkeeper.
I think what you guys missed, and I said it like when we start talking about it, is that little flick that takes him out of the game, right? Because if you see it, he doesn't come out when the flick happens. He starts coming out when he realizes that they got the back, they got Araujo's back, so he starts coming out that way. And if you see how the attackers run towards the ball, he's coming out to close the area down here, like he's coming out to close the area. When that flick happens, that's the doubt. That's the moment where he's like, I'm in no man's land. Right? Because I guarantee you the first initial thought is him dropping the ball and going first ball. Again, we could disagree here. We could disagree here.
Yeah,
I don't we could disagree here. But I'm telling you.
The way that I saw it, it looked like he was already there, and then that's when he pulls back. That's if you're already coming out, then commit to coming out.
I don't
At
think
that
he
point,
pulls
the flick
back.
already had happened.
I completely agree.
There's
with that.
hesitation. There's hesitation.
Yeah, there's a hesitation. I don't think that he pulls back. There's a hesitation. Seeing the replay, I just saw it like 18,000 times. I agree. Coming out like this, you got to get big. At least one hand. Give me one hand up in there.
Listen. Do we doubt that he has the fundamentals right?
No, absolutely. I just said still look on. I'm just. I do have issues with him in that goal because I think.
Listen,
look, there's a mental aspect to goalkeeping, right? The element and get scary, get big. You know.
Again, listen. It's because I believe he has the fundamentals right. I don't think he comes out for the ball knowing that it's going to be a challenge up here, right? I'm telling you, he takes a step forward as soon as the back is won, and then that flick happens, and that's what fucking kills him. That takes him out of the game because he's always intending if he's going to receive the ball on the ground and then try to turn and shoot, right? So he close it down. Like that flick it fucks him, and that's a hesitation. You see it obviously when the flick happens. Is that thing like right, and that's where he gets caught with his hands right here. Could he do better? Right? Should he wait his line a little bit and then recognize the flick and then come out, challenge it? All that, yeah. But I think we criticize him, or the way you guys criticize this play is a little off because of that flick. Like that, listen, if he gets the flick the way he intends it, Bond is still fucked, right? Because that guy tries to flick it behind him, right? So he could put it back in the middle. So he's still fucked the way he came out. It just looks even worse because he got caught in no man's land. Either way, though, listen, I'm not taking shit for Bond because I think he still was big on getting 3 points for us this game, right? Like, but that goal, I could see how we could go back and forth on this for a long time because it's an ugly goal. It looks ugly, right? The way it just kind of collapsed a little bit, so it's ugly around. Man, 63rd minute, and we're here 3-2, right? A few minutes later, Saldana comes out, Harvey comes in. I expect that to help us out a lot, and we go into it. But in my opinion, it didn't. You get Sasha for Vasquez, and I love Sasha, but that's a step down, right? A couple minutes after that, you see Los Santos go down from Vanny's post conference. It seems like it was just tiredness and cramping. We haven't got an update yet, but I think that's all it is. So I'm not too concerned about it. But he comes in, Efra comes in, right? And then 5 minutes pass, you get Dunbar in for Chicharito, and you get Fisher in for Granzier. That means Subek is at top. That means Araujo's are wide. That means Fisher is there. And then it's Efra and Carlos Harvey in the midfield with Sasha kind of roaming, right? That's a new team setup. Some of these players really worked for us in Miami. I don't think they worked for us at all this game, right? Man, I'm gonna start with Harvey, but I do want to talk about Efra because Efra's. But let's start with Harvey. I think Harvey for this game needed to do one role only, and that's to be to be disturbance in the midfield. Yeah, disturbance, just to kind of make him, making him comfortable for anybody in that midfield. Unfortunately, though, he was put in a lot of situations where he had too much space and nobody really close enough to him to give an easy pass. That he had to move almost like a attacking midfielder, and I think we all see like that's not it, not for him. You know what I mean? Um, Masa, you're big on Harvey. What you see
Mhm.
from him this game?
Except for the couple times that he tried to dribble, I think he did okay. Uh, he went back to that fuck the passy shit. He kind of booted the ball out every chance he got. Um, but there was a couple times where that man that man should not be allowed to dribble. To be honest, like at least not going forward. Like I love him because he's a destroyer, right? I know
Yeah.
he's good at it. He can make the easy pass. He boots it. He doesn't fuck around, you know. And when he did, it was like like my man, just boot it, fuck it, play ugly. You gotta get these wins, you know. And I think
Yeah.
for the most part, he when not in those situations, he did okay. It
But
wasn't
see that
nothing special. It was nothing special. Like we I think he dominated the first game in the season when he came in. He was that player, but then it doesn't. It also doesn't help that Efra's in the midfield with Sasha. It's like not that they're bad players or whatever, but it's just a slow midfield. It's a slow midfield, you know.
well, listen, something. At least to me, I think it was way too many changes to your core, right?
Hmm.
Because like this team didn't look like this team for the last maybe like 30 minutes because we have like 50, injury time
Yeah, yeah,
added to, and I know, but like to me, it just felt like it was that change was too much, right? You lost the core, and there wasn't really there. Listen, you're right, right? Efra coming in too, like Efra, all you had to do was play it easy. All he had to do was just control the ball because he does have a touch. He can control the ball. He can give a pass. But everything was just trying to do one more than you need to. A lot like Subak, a lot what we complain about Subak about like trying to do more than you really could, like or trying to do more than you really need to. And and I mean there was one pass that I liked, but mostly it was just like passes not completed by Efra.
Mhm.
And now you have him. And now you have him Harvey, and Harvey has to cover more space. That's not a good look, right? You have a Sasha who I love Sasha, but he's not checking in. He's not coming in close like Jonah does to get the ball, right? He's not getting. He doesn't have the threat out wide with his vision that Vasquez has. So what the hell were we really playing in that midfield? And it's like
Don't forget also that Araujo ended up moving into that right mid row because Fisher
yep,
came in that right back row.
right
So
back row.
you're also adding that element. I don't expect Araujo to be a dribbler going forward either because we know he can. And even that, he had that amazing opportunity to take a shot and go. Instead, he tried to pass it back into I don't know who the fuck he was trying to pass it back into the mid. You guys
It's
remember
a
that
million.
one?
He
Yeah,
shot
yep,
it.
yep.
He shot it, and it got blocked. He should have passed it.
No, no, no,
That
no.
was back.
He
That was
passed
back.
it.
Yeah,
He
yep.
passed. Yeah, he tried
The
passing it
one on
back
one.
into the middle. Yes, a 1-on-1. He didn't shoot it. He should have shot it. Instead, he passed it. He tried to
Yeah.
pass
Oh,
that shit
that's
back.
right.
Yeah,
He
he tried to
tries
pass it
tries
back
trying to
instead.
sit back. Yep.
Right, yeah, and he had the better angle. Listen, I'm not
Oh
saying that would have been
yeah.
a goal.
Fuck.
I'm not saying it would have been a goal, but shoot it. Go on frame. Do the opposite. Again,
Force the keeper to make a
I
block.
allude to that. Exactly. I allude to that though because just to add to your statement there, Rudy, I'm not expecting Araujo also to be my dribbler going forward. So that I mean the only person potentially Dunbar on the opposite side, even then that's one outlet. So slow midfield, I don't. It's not fair to say that on Harvey because of all the elements around him,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
everyone
So
else didn't do him a solid. Everyone else didn't do him a solid. It was just bad. It
so
was really bad.
Masa
But I think
George. Um, you
But
know,
I
go.
think
Yes,
knowing that, but I think knowing that you need to play to what you're good at. You know, you're not good if you're gonna kick the ball to their half for 20 minutes and then you know that you're gonna be able to stop. I'm okay with it. Or make a comfortable pass to what you can do. Now you're making yourself do something. You're trying to save the team by doing something you're not good at.
So there's the question I had, right? With these changes, now that we're seeing it, what do you guys think it was? What was Vanny's idea behind these changes? And Andrew, you can chime in this as well.
Uh, Can I go first on this one?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it was caught off guard by injuries
Mm-hmm.
because that's your two DPS go down for cramps. Like that's especially like when like not to talk shit because I think Zubak had a good game. Like I'm not gonna bag on him, but when Chicharito comes out and you're not worried about those runs, the three man in the back feel less pressure. Because Zubac is just he's back to goal trying to hold up the ball,
Mm-hmm.
and Chicharito's over here giving you mixed runs. You don't even know what to do. Is he gonna come? Is he gonna check in? Is he gonna go wide? Like that already takes one element out of the game. And then you're talking about how here you have Harvey coming in, but no one checking in, and that's what Jonah gives you, right? He's always gives you that option to play the easy pass, and you take that out of the game, and it's like you not expect your midfield to get ran over. Like this is just circumstances of the game that
Hmm.
unfortunately
Yeah.
is just
It's interesting.
unfortunate for us. Yeah.
Listen, and I bring all that just to say. Oh, actually, before I say anything else, George, Andrew, you guys have anything else to add to what my son said?
No, I agree with him. I just feel if that's the point, then get that ball out of the field. Get it out. Don't put yourself into unnecessary situations.
I mean, one thing we didn't see this game, or at least we didn't see it as much. Credit to New York Red Bull too, though. It's that closing out of the game that we had in Miami, right? In Miami, like when we realized, okay, like we got this, we just got to lock it in. We locked it in, and we held the ball, we moved the ball, we killed it at the corner flag, and tried to do it as much as we could. I know there was moments here, but it wasn't like we did for Miami. The
I think
question
it's a
now
bit
is,
different there. Though. Sorry, Rudy. I think it's also a bit different because correct me if I'm wrong. Chicha played the full 90 in Miami, right?
Miami.
And I think Massa just alluded to that. If you have Chicharito and then you have Zubac, that's a different element. Listen, at one point it seemed like fucking Red Bulls were playing with just two defenders, and
Yeah. Two in the back.
they just sent everyone to
oh,
the top. So that's how comfortable they were. That's how
yeah,
that's how not worried they were about Zubac. That's
that last,
different, right? It's different, and because if we're talking about, hey, you still have Chicharito in there, and look, Vasquez was, if I don't know if Vasquez was still in there at that point, but Harvey was having a good game. Kleshton already scored on you, so you have that in the back of your mind. It's a different mind. You're in a different mindset, different elements, different. I don't think it's exactly uh, not fair to say, hey, because you did it in the game against Miami, you're not doing it at home against New York. I mean, I think you still could, right? When you really think about it, theoretically, you should be able to. But I
well,
just guess the pressure they couldn't handle it. I don't know what to tell you.
you know what? I think the Galaxy with everybody who started with everybody like our stars, the people who cause problems, the people who are the defense, like Chicharito's their defense. I think about him, like took a lot away from New York Red Bull, right? When our quality wasn't there anymore, New York Red Bull did what New York Red Bull does, and it just made everything uncomfortable, right? We talked about fucking Harvey not having this, not having the time and having to do more than what he's comfortable doing or more than what we want him to do, right? Uh, after bad passes, but like New York when our quality went down, they got bigger, and it made it hard for us. Before we wrap it up, because I know it's a long game, let's talk about that two plays I want to talk about. Grantier getting into space. Um, I two questions. What do you guys think about this? Like, what do you think about him? One, like the pace he showed, or the lack of pace he showed. Give me your opinion. The strength, because he shows strength there too, and the lack of of follow through runs, like the lack of the run, from behind run to give him an outlet at that point. I know it was late in the game, but give me thoughts on that.
I, I think am I mistaken that it was a counterattack that he won the ball, or it was a pass that got
I think
through?
it was a pass. Yeah, I think it was a
Yeah,
pass that puts him on.
I mean, one, we know that he's not going to be fit for the full 90. Two, we talked about it that we're not really expecting him to be that speedy down the wing, and I think maybe the game got ahead of him and he saw the opening. He's like, "Fuck it, I can do this." Be smart. Be a smart player. If you know that you got the body, put your body in front of the player. Protect the ball, and if you're gonna get fouled, get the foul. Especially if you don't see that people are gonna help you out, you need to be smart in that decision. And I get it. We've all been there. We see a one-on-one with the goal, and you go, and then all of a sudden, the fucking fast-ass center back gets back to us, and it's like, "Oh shit, what do we do now?" You got to be smart. You got to anticipate it and know your body. And I feel like he could have done better. He should have done better. And if we're not going to expect him to be that speedy winger, then be smart about it. Put yourself in a position where you're going to get fouled. If you know you're not going to make it one-on-one to the goalie, then put your team in a better position, especially knowing that he might have not known that no one was tracking back with him, but it kind of looked like he was going straight at the goalie. So kind of put yourself in between the player and the ball and get fouled.
Masa Angel, what do you guys think? You think he should have done better? You think there was more to that?
I think he did what he could. To be honest, people underestimate that New York backline, but that's a fast
I was
backline.
about to
Their
say.
CBs, their CBs are fucking fast. Their right back, left backs are quick as fuck too. I'm not saying Grandsir looks slow because he didn't. He took off. He had a couple steps on I think Tarek caught him up. Um, but he does what he has to do. Like George said, put your body in front of him. He did that in the box, right? I'm not saying that he tried to draw a foul. He puts his body in front and he cuts back out because the option isn't there to shoot or anything. But he does, to me, the correct thing, right? Throws his body, and the only way to go was the opposite way, the way he went. So then he holds up the ball. He tries to dribble. At that point, he's gassed. He probably could have done better right there to hold up the ball. But then again, my man was the only one in the final third. So
Mm-hmm.
what options did he have but to try to dribble? So I'm not gonna give him too much shit about it. I still think he's not he's not game ready yet. He's like or not fully game ready yet. He's close to it. You see little glimpses here and there that he will be fine. I think he did what he could do. I mean, the only other option was to shoot, but at that point he had already been caught up. So I mean, I can't really give him shit for that. It's not that he's slow. It's just I'm telling you that backline is
I was about to say
fast
that
too.
because if you see that play again, it's not in slow motion. That's
No.
but I'm also not saying hey, it's Alfonso Davies going at it with fucking Mbappe either. But for an MLS center back and an MLS midfielder or center attacking or sorry a winger, what do you want to call him? That was not slow. There was some pace to that attack, right? And I just don't think because it's a Galaxy podcast, we're not giving Red Bull's backline enough credit for that, or the defender catching up and closing down as best he could. I do kind of agree with Jordan says like, hey, get the foul, no, or play to get that foul at that point. But I'm not overall in general. I'm not upset with what he did there. I just agree with Masa in the sense that Red Bull's backline is fast and strong, physical.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you have to give it up to the back line because they cut that off. I do want to say the one thing I did like. I did like how strong he was because the defender towers him, right? So you assume he'll be stronger, and he held his own. They went to a shoulder check, and he didn't budge. Right, I like that. Listen, he looks like he's stocky, right? Like he looks like there's some weight to him, but he's not a big guy, right? Like so, I fully expected him to get trucked by the defender. And when he held zone, I was like, okay, like you could go in for a tackle, like you could go in for a body check, like you got that, and that's good. I like that. All right, the last play I want to talk about before we wrap it up, Frankie Amaya comes in, and I know Masa, you've been talking about this kid for a minute too. He comes in.
He should be a fucking
Santana,
Galaxy
baby.
player, dog.
Yeah,
He
he
should
should
be a
be.
fucking
Santana.
Galaxy player, dog. God damn.
So he comes in and finds the ball wide versus Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
He gave Fisher that work.
Yep.
He gave Fisher that work.
Good.
He gave Fisher that work. There's a push and there's a step on a Frankie Maya like entering the PK box. I'm not sure if it's inside or outside, but it's entering the PK box. Did you guys think it was a pen?
No.
In real life? No,
I
you're
thought
comfortable
it was
with it?
In fast time, I thought, damn, they're gonna call that shit a pen.
Yep.
I watched the replay, and my man's already going to ground
Yeah.
before the contact, and I think that's why they don't call the pen. If he would have stayed on his feet and waited for the contact, 100% he gets that penalty. But since he was already in the motion of falling,
Diving.
he played himself, bro.
Yeah.
That would have been a pen if he would have
Yeah.
just stayed on his feet.
Also, like the no call, right? Because if it's the other way around, if it's a pen call and then they go to VAR, I don't know if they turn it back, right? Because I don't know if that's clear and obvious, right? So I'm glad it was a no call on the field because they ain't gonna be like, I don't know, I don't think this is it, and you can leave it at that. But if it's a call like we had last week, like I don't think it gets turned over again. Interesting, man, because like that happens. I don't know, that happens like in the 90th minute, 90+ minute. I didn't even see that shit in person. Like I didn't realize that happened. You know what I mean? It didn't really happen. When I saw it on TV, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like you know, I mean, like, we could have definitely tied this game. I'm glad they didn't listen to 3-2.
Well, I was
I
more
think they're-
scared with Harris at the end though. That was
with
close.
that film.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
That was pretty close.
But
Fuck theirs.
and to me that was also another thing, another one of those like, because he had just messed up. No, I think he had just messed up in the pass, and then tries going hard in that on that tackle, and it was like bad. Like you fucked up once, like just recollect, be calm. But no, like
Yeah.
he'll just too like he's trying to fix it, and he makes a mistake the other two. Also, like that doesn't go that far, right? Is that a two-handed block? Is that the two-handed block from Bond at the end? Is that comes out from the free kick? Yeah, right. Yeah. So
That's the one. Doesn't
Yeah, I
it
think
hit
it
off
hits
of
the
the?
wall.
It hits the wall. It's off of the wall.
oh, it's the wall.
Oh,
All
the
right,
200
but
block is from a shot from the outside.
oh, it's okay. But like that's
Yeah.
also a big save from fucking Bond. Those are the two saves I was talking about earlier. But some, man, 3-2 victory. I'll take the
Hey, one
fucking
more though.
dub.
One more, since we're talking over here about individual plays. That little flick, that backheel flick from Zubac over the New York defender, and then dusting it, dog, with some pace.
Yeah.
So my man, shout out to
Zubac,
Zubac, dog.
baby.
I thought he had a good game, dog. Regardless
Hey.
of the butcher's shot or whatever the fuck, I don't know what it is, man. Keep drinking that Kool-Aid, my man. Like, you're
No,
not
Magic
too
water
bad
is
right
the
now.
Vanny magic water, Doug.
Listen. Here's the thing, though, right? I think anybody in that team right now, anybody in the team who's not happy with their performance, anybody in the team who thinks they could do better, like all they got to do is work harder than Subak, right? Because Subak is only has a position right now. He's only a starter right now because of his fucking work ethics, because of how hard he goes in for as long as you keep him in.
You know, it's crazy though. Like, I want to shout out that too, though. Like, my man was over here, striker, playing CM, defending for his fucking life. On the counter, he was over there winning balls in their third. Like, I can't hate on that man.
Hey,
Yeah.
nah, but that pussy had a bad first touch with my man Efra. My pobrecito, dog. That fool had one run in him. Dog, he got skinny for this run. For this
I
one
don't know,
run.
bro.
The one run for his life.
I put that more on Efra for giving that.
Oh
fucking-
no, you're a
Bro,
hater.
that's a
You're a
then
hater. You're a hater, bro. You're a hater. You're a damn
No,
hater,
Give
dog.
him
hater.
a rocket of a pass and he's right there, bro.
Nah, you're a hater, dog. You're a hater for that.
You know Zubac doesn't have a good touch. Why are you gonna do that to
You're a
him?
hater for that, though. Like, listen, that's Chicha. Yeah, you're a hater on that. I'm sorry.
Then if that's the same thing, then you should say the same thing about what's his face running into the box, Zubac running into the box with the Chicha go. Because you said, oh, he's running, right? How hard is it to give a pass when he's running? My man ran from half field to that play.
But
You
that,
know it's not the same thing, right?
It's exactly the same. Either you give a soft ass pass or a hard ass pass. There's no in between. You can't give a perfect pass after running that much.
all right, we're just talking gibberish
you
now.
Explain to me.
Can you?
Explain to me. How's that the same?
What was your concept? What was your thought behind Zubac and running? Your words were he ran all this way. So how hard is it to give a pass, right? Or how is it to get a shot off?
He got the shot off with his left foot. I give him the credit for that.
But I said it was a pussy shot. And what were your words after that?
I didn't say anything about the pussy shot. I didn't even
Wait.
address the shot.
What are you talking
not.
about? Okay. Now we're talking now because you're bullshitting because you said he ran that much. Yeah, we're going back in circles. You legit said he ran that hard. How hard is it to give out a full shot, especially in that? And I'm saying now
I
either
said
you
I
give
would
a
have been okay
hard.
if he would have rocked it. I said I would have been okay if he would have rocked it or
You
not.
said how hard is it to get? All right, never mind. Keep going.
Yeah,
You're just a
listen,
hater.
we're just
If you're really gonna say that's on Efra, you're wrong.
listen. I think Efra had a best showing, but I think the only thing he did right was that play, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think,
highlighted it.
yeah,
That
it
was
was good,
good. He
but
looked strong,
that's about
too.
it, though. But that's
Yeah,
about it, though.
100%.
Like I need more from that, right?
Yeah.
I need more from him. Listen,
You know, you need more from him, like Caden Clark does for New York, though. Just
Caden
gonna
Clark
throw
didn't
it
play
out
shit
there.
this
no,
game, though.
no.
I had him in his back pocket though.
I
You mean the
don't.
bad midfielder that you guys were talking shit about?
But who starts week in, week out?
No. I don't need to compare him to anybody else.
I don't have to compare.
No. I need him. I need him to be good.
Frankie Amaya, dog, and
I need him to.
more than Efra has done in his fucking Galaxy career, dog.
I need him to perform like Subak. I need him to perform like Saldana. I need him to perform like Dunbar. I don't need. I don't listen. He has his own competition in here. You don't need to go outside to compare them, right? You have Dunbar. Look at Dunbar for what it is. Every time he comes in, there's an impact.
This is not. He's not it though. Can we agree to that?
No.
He's not
I'm
it.
not saying it.
No.
All right.
I'm telling you, step up.
Listen,
step up.
listen. I'll buy against whatever Masa ever says. I'll go a complete opposite because usually what he says is wrong. So that means Efra's going to be player of the year. Watch.
Either way, 3-1 victory. I think we're running late, so I want to cut it off pretty short. But I think Red Bull did expose some things, right? I think we'd be better against. I think we're better matched up against other teams, but Red Bull did expose a couple of things. And one thing, in my opinion, that they exposed is Steris and Dupuy. Araujo too. He could be tossed in there as well. I think we need a better center back, like to actually compete this season. We need a better center back pairing because again, I don't think Dupuy's. I don't think Dupuy always makes the right choices, and Daniel Steris is a liability still, right? Like they didn't have shit games, but you saw that they could step down from Miami. So I think we need to address that. The sooner Derek Williams could get healthy, the sooner Siga Kalabali comes in. Have people in here like
really quick,
we need a different pairing.
based on what we know right now, and George, Rudy, so who are you guys taking right now, Steris or Dupuy alongside
Dupuy
Dupuy.
Steris.
by a landslide.
Dupuy. No, because
Wow.
Steris.
Dupuy by a landslide.
Dupuy just cleared the fucking ball. Steris trying to play out, and he can't play out. How many bad passes did he give this game? Probably 3, 4. And they're lucky that New York was so fucking worried about defending that they couldn't get on the counter that quick. Like those passes were terrible, bro.
I'll take Steris over Dupuy. That's my opinion. And I hear what you're saying, but I'll take Steris over Dupuy. I'm hoping that we don't have to make that choice. I'm hoping any of the two others could step up and be better there. Because again, listen, Miami, I give him his kudos. I thought he stepped up. But I saw the step back again from both my center backs this game. Yeah, so I'll take that. But I think we've been exposed. Also, like I'm okay with fucking grinding out a victory like this.
100%. And you know why I like it? We grinded out the rest of the game with G2 team.
Pretty much, right? Like from
more.
Yeah,
From
the-
they're not G2 anymore.
But
Yep.
it was mostly G2 players, and this is it.
G2 players.
Important games like this give them confidence to continue to perform, to be better from this.
We gotta stop shooting ourselves in the foot, though.
100%, bro. This game was easy. 3-1,
Yeah.
3-0 again, and we gave them life, man. It's not the other way around.
Yep.
But listen again, right? Like for me personally, I want to see Fisher instead of Araujo, right back, right? I think that fixes part of it. And if Derek Williams and anybody else can step up and be a better center back pairing, we're gonna be all right. Because like,
you think it's not? It's never too late, right? But do you think that's the right move now going forward?
What?
Like, I feel like you could justify Fisher starting again this week, right?
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, for this New York game, right? You could have
Mhm.
justified that from his last performance. Now you started Julian, and then you're gonna kick Julian back to the bench and start Fisher.
it's his position to lose. So yeah.
But
Right.
But I don't feel
right.
that Fisher deserved the spot too. I feel he's just as bad. I don't think he had a good showing this game as well.
Who?
Fisher.
Yeah, but listen, like for me, I'm not even stressing that because I think it's a rhythm thing, right? Like he comes into a game that's full speed. You have to caught up to that. You're playing wing back. I'm not necessarily from what I saw like previously. Like that's not necessarily a concern for me. I didn't see the mistakes, like some basic mistakes that Julian made last game. And for me, I think it was that thing, right? Like the only reason Julian didn't start last game is because he's suspended, right? So this is your spot, cool. Here's your spot. You come out and you don't perform when somebody else performed in your spot the game before. All right, cool. I gave you a shot, and based on merit, I gotta play O'Neal Fisher. And I don't think people get hurt. Julian has to get that spot back if he wants it. But based on merit, I think that's what deserves to be a right back right now. Like, that's where I'm at. We'll be back before the weekends with the tailgate. We'll be back before the weekends with the tailgate where we'll talk about Seattle because we got to break that down now, especially having 2 games under our belt. So make sure you check out our socials. This one will be on YouTube. Unfortunately, last time we had some technical issues and I could have rendered the video out, so that didn't go on YouTube. But moving forward. It should be on YouTube and it should be on Spotify and Apple Music and everywhere else you find the pod. Before we wrap up, we're gonna hit you with some questions we got from Discord. George, take it away.
That was a crazy ass segue because that's usually how you end the pod. So I was like, oh no, don't end
Yeah,
it.
I was
No,
gonna
no,
say, yeah.
no. It's the tailgate because now we have the tailgate to talk about. Like the previous ones, we haven't had the tailgate to talk about.
All right, for sure. All right, questions. 3, 2, 1. Joel asks, what does our goal differential say about us and our old goals against the same from last year?
Oh, we still have massive issues. Like this is not. We can't address something with the same players from last year. We could grind out wins now, but I mean the new CBs are there. They're just not ready to go yet. So, I mean, as of right now, we're still a leaky defense that hasn't changed until we see Williams on the field, until we see Koulibaly on the field. Then we could address the issue. But until now, it's the same people, same people.
With what we got, we're not getting
but I disagree with you guys. All right, I think with Red Bull was hard. I think with Miami, those goals, right? But you have to be aware, like this team in general is not as weak defensively, right? Via positioning, via like the intent the players have, they're not as weak as they were as a team defensively. Mm-hmm. I think we have some players we got to move some positions we have to upgrade. But this team itself, as a team defense, it's a better team. So yes, there's some problems there, but I also think it's 2 games in, let this team develop. It's gonna be a fucking good team.
Yeah,
and a better defense.
We are defending better as a team. The personnel is not there though to make it the final product.
Yep.
Because it's pretty evident that we are defending better. Listen, 2 goals, Miami. 1 questionable offside. 2 questionable penalty. Very questionable on both of them, right?
Yep.
Very questionable. This game, we can definitely allude to certain issues. Araujo for sure, right? And that goal, the giveaway from Solania, part of it too. Thanks, sure, but in general, overall, defensively, we are defending as a better unit.
Yeah.
I know the score sheet's not seen, but this is why you got to watch the games to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
And how these goals are coming in. You can't always look at the stat sheets because the stat sheets aren't necessarily always telling of what's actually happening in the game.
Yeah. Like I honestly believe that. I honestly believe that this team defensively looks better, right?
Yeah.
You get Derek Williams, and hopefully he's what we want him to be, and you see that upgrade, right? And that's why I think even like whether it's Siga, whether it's people who come in afterwards, like. I think we could cut it with Steris, or in you guys' point of view with DPU and Derek Williams. If Derek Williams lives up to be whoever we think he is, right? So, yeah, no, there's some defensive work, but I don't think we're as bad as we were last year, regardless of how close the stats lined up to last year at this point.
I just don't feel that we can be making mistakes, and me saying that we're not going to get a clean sheet until these players come in. Our next 2 games are going to be difficult, regardless. And these are teams that we can't make mistakes off of because they're attacking.
100%.
Good. Yeah.
100%. But see, like that doesn't go just defense, right? Because like I think our defense needs to be our midfield needs to be on point too, and not put the defense in a situation like that. Also, too, like when one thing that's happening on defense, they got confidence in their keeper, right? That keeper's fucking manning the band line. I've seen him pointing out. I've seen him yelling at people. Like there's defensive help. I think we got it. Room to grow, but it's not as bad as it was last year, regardless of how many goals we scored versus how many goals we scored on us versus last year.
Yeah. All right. Next question comes from Galaxy Outsider. Who else is switching to a paleo diet? Hashtag
I would, but I don't believe in diets. I don't believe in diets, or else I would.
Sick ass. All right. Danger TRL says new coach, new system, new season. Chicha is getting a clean slate from the fans. Zubak should Zubak get a clean slate? The whole team should, I feel.
Yeah. I listen, until somebody's down to commit the way Subek's down to commit and down to play for as long as they need him to, Subek is fucking an important part of this squad right now. Right? Because he stretches the team out, because he runs after everything. It opens the space for some of the other players. So, or he's running at goal and shooting. Like, you know what I mean? Like Subek's doing his thing. I can't hate on Subek right now. He's still whack. but he's doing his thing, and I fucks with it.
I was talking mad shit about Zubac.
Yeah.
What can I say now?
Lord Zubac, and people don't get the reference. Lord Bentner, like Nicholas
Bentner.
Bentner did this
Yep.
shit forever for Arsenal.
Yep.
It's crazy because
Yeah.
he's bad, but he still was effective from time to time. Hence,
Yeah.
yeah. Listen, a lot of the kids don't get that reference to Lord Bentner thing because it was a meme before memes were
Yeah.
what it was.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love Bender. Every Champions League when Arsenal used to play Champions League.
All right.
Sad boys.
Sad boys as fuck.
All right. Question from ZB, and I want to touch on this question because we kind of overpassed it. How well do you think Jonah has done so far?
Man.
Average, non DP player,
Not DP caliber.
not the B caliber. No.
1,000%. And you're on your apparently your contract year. Listen, we talked about this in the preseason, talking about conditioning. We talked a lot about Valdecanto is out. Do you think Vandy's going to bring in something different? Do you think anything's going to change? According to Vandy's press conference, from what Rudy said, it was cramps and tiredness.
Just turn it. Yep.
At what minute did that happen?
Like 60 something.
In the 60th minute, we didn't see much.
The 73rd minute.
73rd minute. We didn't see much of, and this man had a full preseason. Am I correct? He went to the Mexican national team, so he had more of a preseason than anyone else. You come back, and you can't give me 73 minutes, and it's not 73 minutes when I say, "Yep, put a stamp on it." You killed it for those 73 minutes.
Chicha did. Like that's warranted. Like Chicha was warranted. Like he deserved. Yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah.
So, what are we going to blame? Are we going to blame the conditioning? Are we going to blame the coaches? Are we going to blame the system? Is it the player?
Info had time, George. I think he's playing himself into Tam because him and Pavon are homies, and Pavon played for Boca this weekend. So
that's fine.
You guys heard it here first. Pavon's coming back next year. There you go.
I honestly listen, and I think when he, so what I want to say is, I think going against Matuidi and Miami's midfield with Saldaña as his partner, it took a toll of them. I think New York is the same thing, right? But I could think this all I want. We got Seattle and we got Levas coming up, right? And those games, he needs to be a factor, right? I don't care. Like, listen, I don't care who in the midfield they are. Those games are the top guys in the West. You have to be a factor in this game, right? And if he does, he's the DP, and that's why we want him, because we won both these games without him being all that great against Seattle, against Levas. We can't have that. We need him to be that guy, right? I'm not stressing about him. Like, I see glimpses here and there, but we got 2 games coming up like right away.
Yep.
Next week and the week after, and he has to come up. I know it's early. I know there's still time for him to get better and whatever. But these 2 games coming up are crucial already in our season. These are the top dogs in the West. You know, what we assume to be the top dogs in the West. So now he has to come up and step up and do it, right? And that's the way I see it. I think Jonah's dope, bro. I really think Jonah's dope. And I think even when he doesn't come out and he does what we expect him to do, I think he's integral. I do want to see him step up, though. And he needs to step up against the next 2 opponents in my books.
Masa?
I agree with everything you said. He's been average. And that's not good enough.
There it is. Oh. What the fuck is happening? The computer slept.
We're still on, though.
All right. Yeah. All right, cool. All right. Galaxy Fan Talk says, you can see flashes of Granzier being good. What would you like to see more of him, or is it that he's getting used to the league style of play? We kind of touched on it. We getting that full 90 and also getting that chemistry with the striker, right?
Yeah. Oh, also start finding him in better positions so he could be more lethal, right? What I think. All right, that's it.
We have one more from Glenn with the one N. We have expectations of our DPs. We know what we expect from Chicha and Jonah. What is our expectations of Cabral? Goals, assists, or both?
I want him to be a facilitator. I don't give a fuck whether that comes through like his pass or the second pass, but he needs to be Subak with a whole lot more skill. That's what I need from him.
to add to that, I want him to be someone that's on the defense's radar and not just someone that you could be like, oh, push out wide. I don't want to compare it to Pavon, but taking on a defender 1-on-1 and expecting him to get past that to your center back to be able to be pulled out.
Yep, I agree with that. George Massa, anything?
Yeah.
Angel Massa.
Yeah, I
Agree with you
agree.
guys.
I think I'm telling you, my boy's gonna score goals and assists, so I ain't even stressing.
Show me the celebration, Massa. How does the celebration go?
Me duele la muela, maje.
All right, man. We're fucking over 2 hours in. Anything else? Oh, actually, listen. I want to say real quick. I know you boys missed the home opener, but God, when things open up, when you guys feel comfortable, get back in there because I have forgotten how much I missed it until I actually was in the stands, and it was fucking amazing, man. It wasn't as packed as we we imagined VBlock being, but having people in there, being in the stands, having the flags being woven, the fucking the chants, watching the G's win at home, like I forgot how good that felt. It was amazing. I'm sorry for the fucked up audio in my voice today, but I do that shit every week if I could because it's amazing, guys. Get back in there. I'll talk a little bit more about the game and the VBlock and tailgating and everything like that on the tailgate. But I'm gonna end it now because it's fucking 2 hours and 20 minutes in. I think we'll call it a night. Okay. All right, with that being said, it's another episode of Straight from the Stands. I'm Boy Rudy. I'm Smarts on Twitch. I'm Smarts on the gram. I'm Smarts on Twitter.
This is George. Follow me at Candy Johnson 74 on Instagram and Twitter.
It's Angel. Follow me on Instagram, 80F691, Twitch, and PSN Network.
Oi. Peace, love, and Jesus.
Peace, y'all. Have a good night.